Lions High School football. It's game time on WSLM 97.9 FM. The pregame show on WSLM 97.9 FM is brought to you by the following sponsors:
John Jones Auto Group, McDonald's of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, Washington County Tire, Schneck Hospital,
Papa John's, Vital Farms, Jason Petmeyer Insurance, Rodney Bruff Insurance, and Temple & Temple.
And we are back, Week 5 of IHSAA football action tonight here. We've got the Blackhawks from Springs Valley on the road tonight, being hosted by your Salem Lions here at Paul A. Graves Athletic Stadium at Jim Ralston Field. And I have a new voice in the box with me tonight. I've got Nick Ingram. Nick, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for filling in for Zach.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to be here. Great to be on the microphone again. I'm excited for a nice matchup. Hopefully we get a good one. It's a great night for a game, and hopefully both of these teams are able to bring their best tonight.
Absolutely. Nick's got a little bit of background here commentating over the air as he's done it for the school. For how long did you do that for?
Football and basketball about 3 years. Boys and girls basketball and then football.
So we've got a little bit of experience tonight with Nick here. He came down and helped me out tonight. But for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about the Blackhawks from Springs Valley. Their head coach is Jason Lowe. He's 36-11 in his 5th year at the school. Probably coming off one of the better seasons he's had there last year. He's coached every season he's been a head coach at Springs Valley. Last week, Valley came away with a 38-0 win against West Washington last week. And I'll tell you what, that was just, Springs Valley got going, and that was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't much of a game. 38-0 is never a close one. And that's not a bad West Washington team. I mean, it's definitely not one of the better teams they've had, but they're not bad. So, I mean, that's a huge win for them. Something that sticks out to me is that 36-11 record in his 5th season. I mean, you're only losing, about 2 games a year on average, just about. I mean, that's really impressive from a coach. And he's got this Blackhawks team sitting at 4-0, and they're really going to look to make a run.
Yeah, and absolutely. Last year, Springs Valley, they kind of opened everybody's eyes last year. They finished the season 8-2. Unfortunately, they were 8-1 going into the sectional game. Got an unlucky draw first round. They played Providence, who ended up going on to win the state championship. But last year, that team averaged 50 points a game while only allowing 11.5 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, huge margin of victory there on average, like you said. Unfortunate for them that they would lose to Providence in the first round, but, I mean, they kept it close, 35-20 in a game. That's a 2-score football game against a really good Providence team that, honestly, like you said, they went on to win the state championship. And it's just unfortunate that they were set in that sectional.
Yeah, and, that was a tough sectional, but it was kind of one of those things of, Springs Valley's got a chance, Providence has a chance. Unfortunately for Springs Valley, Providence came out in that one. And ended up, that's probably one of the better Providence teams I've ever seen. But that Valley team last year, we went on the road last year to visit them, got beat 63-12. But one thing that stuck out to me is their running back they had last year was an absolute stud. The kid was a state-leading rusher even after they lost. He was number 1 in the state for the next 2 or 3 weeks, even after he wasn't playing. So that just shows kind of the season the kid had.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, that takes that. Whenever you think about something like that, a state-leading rusher, you got to also credit the offensive line there as well. I mean, it's just as much on them as it is the actual talent of the running back. I mean, yeah, he's finding the holes, but they're being created by that offensive line. They're just a big team. I mean, they just play physical. They're not going to throw the ball a lot. They like to keep it on the ground, except I have heard this year they've opened up the pass just a little bit more than they did last year. But, they're going to be a dominantly run team, something that Salem has struggled a little bit with this season. When you look back at the opening game against North Harrison, we really weren't able to stop much of what they had going on. And I think it's going to be a pretty similar offensive style tonight.
Yeah, I was watching some film on Springs Valley today, and it looks a lot of power runs, pulling guards, pulling tackles. They're pulling play side guards to kick out the end. So we just got to be ready. As soon as we see a guard pull, we just got to know, fill the gap. That's where the ball's going. So like you said, Salem has struggled to stop the run defensively a little bit this year. North Harrison put 403 yards on us on the ground, and when you allow a team to put 403 yards on the ground, you're giving them long drives, 2 in the clock, and the North Harrison style offense, I don't know, they might have tried to throw the ball 3 or 4 times that game, but for the most part it was just Bryce Fessel up the middle, and that's kind of ultimately how Salem's season has gone this year defensively, is just letting running backs kind of have big games.
I mean, it's typical bully ball in a way. I mean, it's just the bigger team. I mean, Salem obviously is a little undersized. I mean, not to hate on that at all, but I mean, we just don't have the biggest team. And when you look at some of these teams like Springs Valley that are going to be a little bit bigger, you're just fighting an uphill battle when it comes to that sort of thing. So I think that's going to be the key tonight for Salem. They have to find some pressure on the defensive line.
Yeah, and a little bit more about Springs Valley. A couple kids we're going to be really looking out for tonight. It's going to be their quarterback, number 22. He's a senior, Blake Buchanan. Last week he had 10 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. And you mentioned their passing game. He went 4 for 6 last week for 45 yards and a touchdown. So they're starting to throw the ball a little bit, not too much, but defensively we definitely need to look out for number 41. He's a running back, a senior, Noah Allstott. Last week he had 17 carries for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground against that West Washington team.
Yeah, and I would say West Washington's very similar to us in size. I think both teams are going to be a little bit undersized. So, I mean, it kind of gives you a preview of what you're going to expect from the Blackhawks tonight. My guess would be you're not going to see, like, he threw it 6 times last week. I'd say he'll be right around that number again this week. I don't see him coming out and throwing 15 passes or something just absurd. But they got to be cautious of it, and they got to look for the pass on occasion.
Yeah, and a couple keys to victory I've got written down here is defensively we have to do our job and our job only. Can't worry about other people and trying to make up for them making a mistake or anything like that. We need 11 men doing their job on the field and only their job and not trying to play somebody else's job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you said it the best. It's a team sport, but it starts with the individuals that are doing their specific task. Everyone's going to have a role, all 11 guys. You execute your role. You just hope the guy beside you executes his. You can't really execute it for him.
Yeah, and my second one, and it's the same one I have every single week. I know, Nick, you haven't been here, but limit mistakes. And that's offensively, defensively, penalties, turnovers. That's my next point as well. Is watch the penalties. We make too many penalties, and we turn the ball over too much. I think somebody told me at school we're forcing like 2.8 or 3.2 turnovers per game. We're forcing, which is great, except when we're turning the ball over 3 or 4 times a game. And that's going to be playing a team against the playing a team like this Springs Valley team. We're not going to be able to shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties, and we can't have drives end based on turnovers.
No, I agree completely. And like you said with the turnovers, I mean, their quarterback, if he's throwing it 6 times a game, the chances of him actually throwing an interception really low. I mean, you just play the number game there.
Yeah.
It's easy to see. And you got a senior running back in Noah Allstott. He's not going to hand the ball off to you. I mean, he's going to be tough with the ball. He's not going to give it away. And like you said, if you give it away and they're not, it's never going to be a recipe for success.
The All-Star kid, he comes in at 5'10", 171 pounds. He is an athletic 5'10", 171 pounds. And he's going to run hard. He's going to run like he's 210 pounds. So we just got to be ready. But my next point is don't get beat before you step on the field. And last week against Brownstown, ultimately that's what happened. Watching back at that game, we made a great drive, our first drive. Defensively, we got to stop. And then next thing you know, boom, it's 63-7. And once that game started getting out of hand, it got out of hand quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you can't look at the numbers. I mean, going into the game, I know Springs Valley's 4-0. We're sitting here at 1-3, but that doesn't matter. I mean, you got to take it as a per game basis. Everyone's 0-0. Everyone's looking for a win, and you just got to execute and try to win your game. You can't worry about the team that's stepping up across from you.
Yeah, and every week, like you said, it's different going into every week. Springs Valley probably has a different game plan than they had last week against West Washington. We hopefully have a different game plan than we had last week against Brownstown. So you go into the game, you can't worry about your record. You can't think, oh, well, we're 1-3, they're 4-0, we don't stand a chance. You got to think, we're going to go out there, we're going to give them all we got, and we're going to put them at 4-1.
Yeah, and I promise you that this Springs Valley team is not going to be as good as what you saw last week at Brownstown. They're a good team. They're not Brownstown. So you got an easier opponent walking in here. You just were challenged to the max last week against a extremely good Brownstown team. They're looking to make a deep run in the state tournament, I'm sure, as they always are. And you got to look at this week as a new week. What can we do, and how can we execute our specific roles?
Yep, absolutely. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about this Salem team that we're going to be looking out for tonight.
Yeah, so Salem is coached by Roger Pennington. He's 1-3. He is the interim coach as we await Coach Bleesing's return to the program. This season for the Lions, opening week 1, they lost to North Harrison 27-15. We talked about that game just a little bit ago. Gave up a ton of rushing yards, but they bounced back in week 2, beat Silver Creek 27-20 on this field in what was actually a really good game, one of the best games I've seen in a long time. Followed it up week 3, not as good of a performance against Scottsburg, lost 23-6. That Warrior team is really good, though. And obviously, we don't want to talk about it too much. Last week, we lost at Brownstown 63-7.
Yeah, and, looking at the record, we talked about how good of a game that Silver Creek game was. I've been doing this my second season in a row in the press box, and I can confidently say that Silver Creek game was the most excited I've seen players, most excited I've seen fans, and the most fired up everybody has been in our program, and at least in the last 2 years, probably the last 3 years. And obviously, we came away with a big conference win against a team that we hadn't beaten 9 years.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game. We executed our game plan. We forced some turnovers, gave the ball away, but not just as much as we have in some of the other games. But we did our job, and that's what was the most important thing that night in the win. I mean, and you look at outside of North Harrison, Scottsburg and Brownstown are both very, very good teams. They're going to finish towards the top of the conference. Brownstown will probably win it. I wouldn't be surprised if Scottsburg doesn't come away with a second place in the conference. So you got to take a look at the season and say, where are our wins? And for Salem, honestly, over the past couple of years, the wins have came later in the season. So sitting at 1-3 isn't super concerning, especially if they're able to come away with the win tonight. If they sit at 2-3, they're off to a really good start.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head right there with that 1-3 record. Doesn't really define what the season's going to play out to be. I think most of the time, when I started for 3 years. We started 1-3, I believe, every single year except one. I think we started 2-2. We went 1-3, went on a 5-game win streak, and ended up finishing the season 6-5 that year, 6-4 that year. But the 1-3 now, it's week 5. You pick up one here, you go to 2-3. Then we get to the kind of the little less meaty part of our schedule, coming up with a couple different teams that really aren't as good as what we've played. I think I can confidently say that our toughest part of our schedule is the beginning and the middle, where the end starts to give us a little bit of a break before we head to sectional time.
Yeah, I mean, this 3-week stretch here, Scottsburg, Brownstown, Spring Valley, that's the toughest part of your schedule. You got Corden coming up, they're down this year. You got Pekin coming up, they're also down this year. So you got a couple of opportunities there to pick up some wins. But let's talk about the game more tonight. My keys to victory for the Lions, I said they got to limit Springs Valley's possession, and you can do that in a couple of ways. Number one, can't give them the ball. We talked it to death. But number two, I don't think we talked about it. Salem's got to have long drives. They got to find a way to sustain some drives. It can't be 3 and out or, one first down and then they're giving the ball right back to them. They have to find a way to get their defense, what guys don't play both sides of the ball, but to get their defense a break on the sidelines, getting ready for that next possession. Because if you give Springs Valley the ball 12, 13 times tonight, they're going to score on 6 or 7 of those drives, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. It's got to be one of those situations where we go in, we try to limit North Harrison's turnovers. We don't give North Harrison possessions. We don't give them a ton of possessions. They give us some back. All that. We ended up losing in a pretty close game. We go to Silver Creek. We controlled that game pretty much the entire of the game. We came out with the win. Scottsburg, that week 3, we gave Scottsburg too many possessions. That was 23-6, but I bet Scottsburg had the ball 7, 8, 9 times. Defensively, we did okay, but when you give a team 9, 10 to 11 possessions, it's high school football. They're going to score. And then Brownstown, same thing. We went 3 and out way too many times. And at that point, you're going to, again, give the team too many opportunities to score.
Yeah, whenever you come into a game, and I'm not saying that Springs Valley is just that much better than Salem, but you look at it on paper, who's the better team? It's the team across the field from us. So whenever you come into this game, you got to say, we got to figure out a way to make them give us the ball. And that might not be turnovers. That could be, punts, turnover on downs, whatever it might be. But you cannot give them extra possessions, free possessions, and you got to figure out a way, especially late in the half, late in the game. I think a couple times this year, Salem's gave the ball back with like a minute and 10 seconds. What does our opponent do? They go down the field and score.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to just take that ball into the locker room with you. Whatever you have to do. I don't care if you have to run 4 straight run plays just to stall out the clock. You just got to find a way to not give them the ball.
Yeah, and one of our situations we've been in a lot of times is we get the ball back again with that 2 minute right before halftime, whatever it is, and we don't capitalize on opportunities. We start shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties, or we turn the ball over, anything like that. But we've been in a situation this year where we've given the ball back to high-powered offenses, and defensively, I don't know if we've expected them, like, hey, they're not going to try to score because they're already up or whatever. But we've been in situations where they were getting the ball after halftime. We needed to score, and like you said, they had it back with a minute to a minute, 10 seconds left. And ultimately, we couldn't stop them defensively, and they got in the end zone and got more points on the board before halftime.
Absolutely. So impact players for the Lions tonight, I got a couple of them here. Number 8, senior quarterback Braxton Dean. He played the receiver role for the first couple of games this season before he was hoisted into that quarterback position. Last week he had 26 yards on 5 carries. Not the best passer. He can throw the ball a little bit, but this Lions offense is not made to just throw the ball. They're not an air raid offense. They want to keep it on the ground. They got to give it to the other impact player, number 4, junior running back Logan Dent. Last week he had 23 rushing yards on 15 attempts. And my final, his backfield mate, Karis Moore, a senior, number 7, last week, 3 rushing yards on 5 attempts. Take that out of the equation, the rushing yards from last week. No one had a good game. I mean, you get beat 63-7. No one's going to play their best game of the season. You got to look more at what they've done over the course of the season. Logan Dent's been really good. I've been super impressed by Karis Moore, honestly. He has stepped into that role and just thrived this year.
Yeah, and Karis, he came in. He played slot last year a little bit. Didn't run the ball a whole lot, obviously, with Dent getting the workload of carries. But this year they moved it around a little bit, put Karis in the backfield, put Dent at slot. And like you said, Karis has been very impressive with how hard he runs. He gets the ball and he runs straight forward. He doesn't try to dance around or anything like that. He's a super athletic kid, but he's also a super physical big kid. And it takes some workload off of Logan, so that way we're not giving Logan the ball 30, 35 times a game. And that way the defense has to adjust for 2 people, not just 1.
Yeah, and I mean, Logan Dent's freshman and sophomore year were 2 of the more successful years a Salem running back has had in the past couple of seasons. I mean, just super impressive with what he was able to do. This year, obviously, like you said, he might not get the ball as many times, but he also has a guy that kind of can take some of that workload off of him. I mean, he's getting beat up when he gets the ball 20, 25 times a game. You got to find a way to find another guy to kind of do some work for you, and Salem was able to find that this season, and that's really what helped them in that Silver Creek victory, and I think you'll see that tonight. It's not going to be dominated by 1 running back. You're actually probably going to see almost 3 running backs because Braxton don't run the ball as well.
Yeah, and then another person that we didn't put in this, but another big guy, another player that's a big impact on our season so far, number 3, Peyton Shockey. The kid's not very big. The kid is fast, and the kid he plays physical, but he works hard. Last week, the one lone score we had was an 81-yard Peyton Shockey rush. It always feels a little bit, not that it softens the blow too much, but it does help a little bit to not get shut out in a 60-point blowout and to put some points on the board. But, definitely number 3, Peyton Shockey, is another kid that we will be calling his name tonight.
Yeah, I mean, our defensive backs, Shockey and then Lenny Wynn, I've been impressed with him this season. Both of them have played really well. They deliver big hits for cornerbacks. And I think that's something that you might not see them as much tonight because in the pass coverage, but they're going to be responsible for getting to the running backs just as much as a linebacker or a safety is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like we talked about, Lenny's not very big, just like Peyton. Neither one of them are very big. Both of them are some of the hardest workers we have on our team, and they are happy to be out there, and they want to hit people hard. But it looks like we're about to get into the national anthem, so we're going to take that break, and we will be right back. And you see that's why who's both sides and right on through the pain of the fire over rampart we walk. Oh, so bad you is screaming and run through the ground of our birth. Through the night that I face
Land of the free and the
And we are back here at Pauley Graves Athletic Stadium at Jim Ralston Field. And, Nick, do you have any more points you want to talk about with Salem there, or you want me to go ahead and go over some notes from last week?
No, I think I'm good there with Salem.
All right. Well, we're not going to talk about it too much. But last week, we've kind of already said it. You got to forget about it. It was a tough loss, but you have to forget about it and move into this game. That game was over before it even started. We came out. We did not really ever, I would say, stand a chance of winning that game. And then point 3 there from last week is it just got out of hand fast. And that's about really all there is to say about that game.
I think you're right. I mean, that was one of the games against Brownstown on the road. We could have played our best game of the season, and I still think we lose. I mean, and that's just, it's no diss on Salem in the slightest. It's just because Brownstown is that good. They have 11 guys on both sides of the ball that execute to perfection, and they're just a better team than pretty much everyone in the conference, but especially kind of these guys.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the best team we're going to play all year. They're going to win that conference. I can't imagine anybody competing with them. The only team that might stand a chance would be that Scottsburg team, and unfortunately for Scottsburg, I don't think they have the enough high-powered offense or the high-powered defense to compete with that Brownstown team.
No, I agree with you. Another note here: the middle school 8th grade lost at Providence 18-14. They'll play next Thursday at Corden. Their record is currently 2-3.
Yeah, and that was a rough game for us last night. We didn't have a 7th grade game. We had a lot of 7th graders playing on the 8th grade team, and I will confidently say that I was super impressed with how our 7th graders played, stepping up in that 8th grade role. Unfortunately, it was 18-0 at halftime. Unfortunately for us, it ended 18-14. We just couldn't get anything really going in the first half, but we look to bounce back against Corden next week.
Absolutely, and I mean, like you said, 7th graders playing up. It's impressive that they were able to do as well as they did. There's a significant size advantage there from a 7th grader and an 8th grader.
Yeah, and that Providence team wasn't small. They were definitely big. They had a lot of kids that were, you would look at them and you're like, why aren't you playing on a JV team right now? But our 7th graders, they weren't scared by any means. They went in, they competed. Unfortunately, we've got some kids out on 7th and 8th grade right now, and a couple big impact players that we weren't able to have this week, and that definitely took a toll on us.
For sure. So some other notes, if you're going to go ahead with those.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow we've got number 9, Illinois, on the road visiting the Hoosiers of IU. That kickoff is at 7:30 tomorrow night, and that is between a number 9 Illinois team and a number 19 IU team. And I can confidently say we've both been to most of the IU games. I've been to every one. I think you've been to most of them. I would say IU deserves to be more than number 19.
I agree. I mean, that is a big-time game. NBC, 7:30 night game at Memorial Stadium. It doesn't really get much better than that. It's going to be a high-powered showdown between the Illini and the Hoosiers tomorrow. Excited to be there for that one.
Absolutely. We're nearing the kickoff now. And for those wondering, Salem did win the toss tonight, and they did elect to defer to the second half, so they will be kicking off to the Blackhawks first. That is number 8, Braxton Dean, in to kick back deep for the Blackhawks. It looks like if the kid moves his arms, I'll be able to tell him.
Yeah, I can't see the numbers. It's 20-something and maybe 19.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's going to be maybe number 19, Deacon Weiniger, on one side, and maybe number 22, Blake Buchanan, on the other side. I'm not exactly sure here, but there's the kick from Braxton. It's a short kick fielded at the 35, and that's going to be number 41, Noah Alstott, on the return. And he is going to fight his way forward across the 40 down to about the 43-yard line there. So the Blackhawks will start their first drive on offense at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, decent kick there. I think they executed what they wanted to do. Maybe not the guy you want to kick it to, the running back, but nonetheless, decent starting field position for the Blackhawks, but it could have been way worse for the line. So good execution on both ends.
Blackhawks come out. Ball is on the 44 here. They are in gun. 2 wide receivers on the near side here. That is going to be Alstott in the backfield beside Buchanan. And there is going to be a freeze play there for the Blackhawks. Great job from the Salem defensive line not to jump. But the Blackhawks are going to shift their defense to the tight end on our side now here. There's the snap to Buchanan. He hands it off to Alstott, who's got a blocker, finds a hole, runs across the 50, fights his way forward down to the Lions' 47-yard line where this play will end. And that's going to be a pickup of 9 yards there for Alstott on the first down run.
Yeah, good execution from the front guys there. blocking, leading the way. The Lions defense gets to him, but it's about 9 yards too late, 2nd and 1.
And that All-Star kid there comes in at 5'10", 171 pounds, and he looks a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, I think he's probably about 191.
So the Blackhawks back to the line here, receiver on both sides. There's a snap to Buchanan. He hands off to Allstott around the left. He's got some blockers ahead of him, and he's going to drag some Lion defenders down to the Lions' 41-yard line. So that's going to be a pickup there of about 6 yards for the Blackhawks, and that's going to give them a new set of downs here at the Lions' 41-yard line.
Perfect start for Springs Valley. 2 plays, 15 yards into Lion territory here. Fresh set of downs. We'll see what they do here. Run right, run left, and it sets up for another first down.
Yep. Buchanan back in gun with Allstott behind him. They've got Bunch over there on the far side right at the end of the line. There's a snap to Buchanan. He hands off to Allstott, and he's got a ton of room to run. And he is going to be met by Lenny Wynn at the 35-yard line. He's going to make his way down to the 34. Great open field tackle there from senior Lenny Wynn.
Huge tackle from Wynn. I think that Allstott saw the green grass ahead of him. He tried to give Wynn the stiff arm there. He wasn't fooled, brought him down to the green grass, and stops him short of what probably could have been close to a touchdown run.
It's going to be a 7-yard gain there for Noah Allstott there on first down, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 3 now at the 34-yard line. They've got a motion at the bobble snap, and the ball's on the ground, and I believe it is recovered by the Lions, and it is. So that's going to be Lions football there on the fumble recovery on the bad snap. Great recovery there by number 71, C.J. Ward. 1st and 10 Lions.
Huge play for Salem there. You take some of the momentum back. Springs Valley was doing anything that they wanted on that possession, running their offense to a perfect storm up the field. But the Lions take it away here, sets up for a 1st and 10, and maybe that's a momentum shift to start the game that's going to propel us.
It looked like the center just didn't get a clean snap, and the ball really never came off the ground there.
I don't know what happened, but it didn't make it back to the quarterback's hands.
Braxton under center, Dent and Moore in the backfield. That's Peyton Shockey in motion. There's a snap, toss around the right side to Dent, who's got a hole in some blockers. He's across the 40, across the 45, where he's going to be brought down, I believe, at the 46-yard line. So that's going to be a 9-yard pickup. Nope, call it 8-yard pickup down to the 45-yard line of the Lions there. Great first run there from number 4, Logan Dent.
Yeah, 2 minutes into the game, both teams' offense is looking pretty good so far. The Lions doing basically exactly what was just done to them about a minute ago.
Yep, absolutely. And, we've seen it. We know what to expect with the Lions offense, and hopefully the Lions offensive line can open some holes for their backs. Dean under center, Shockey and Dent at slot with Karis Moore in the backfield. There's a snap, and it's going to be a handoff to Karis up the middle, and he is wrapped up immediately, but he fights his way forward for 2 yards, I believe. Let's see where they mark him here. If they mark him where this ref's at, they're going to mark him short. So it's going to be a gain of 1 there for Karis on 2nd and 2. So it's going to be a 3rd and 1 now for the Lions on their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, and Brandon, I don't like that spot all that well. I think that he got the football out there at least another half yard. They mark him down at the 46. It's whatever. He was met at the 45, and he did everything he could, but it's just an unfortunate spot.
Dean under center, there's a snap to QB sneak, and I expected it, and it's going to be Braxton fighting his way forward way across the 50-yard line. That's going to be a 6-yard pickup there, 7-yard pickup there for Braxton. 6 yards, we'll call it 6 yards. 6 yards on first for a first down. So now they have the ball on Blackhawks' side of the field there.
Yeah, almost like a Philadelphia Eagles push there without the running backs helping. I mean, Braxton Dean just fell forward, and he just kept going.
Great hard run there from Braxton. He's back under center with Moore and Shockey in the backfield, I believe is who that is. There is the motion. There's a snap. It's going to be tossed right to Shockey, who cuts it back a little bit at the line, and he is not going to make it very far. I don't think he made it anywhere. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 now for the Lions, still on the Blackhawks 48-yard line. And again, that play just never really developed for the Lions.
No, Shockey's going to have a hard time unless he gets some really good blocks running between the tackles like that. He's got to bounce it outside. I know that's how the play was designed, but it was really the blocking that let him down there.
Absolutely. So Braxton breaks the huddle, comes back to the line. Lions in a 2-receiver set now. Dent at slot on the right, Karis Moore in the backfield. Dent is in motion. There's a snap. It's going to be tossed to the left side to Dent, and he spins off of a defender and back into another one. He's going to pick up about a yard, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Lions there after the Logan Dent 1-yard run down to the Blackhawks 47.
Yeah, and I mean, you could see the play develop from up here. There was probably 4 Blackhawks in the backfield there. He actually took it right through the middle of them all before he met the linebackers there at the 47.
7 minutes and 30 seconds to go here already in this first quarter. Score is 0-0. Lions look to put some points on the board here. Braxton's under center. Karis Moore's in the backfield. There's some motion from Dent, and there's going to be a fake toss to Dent, and they're going to blow it dead, and it is going to be an offsides on the Lions, so that's going to set them back 5, and that's the penalties that we've talked about.
Yeah, you got to limit the penalties. One thing that I would like to see the Lions do a little bit tonight, they snapped the ball with 14 seconds on the play clock I saw there. I would take that thing down to 2 or 3 seconds. I would just not want to give Springs Valley the ball as many times as you have to.
No, I agree with that. You know, we talked about limiting possessions and stuff like that. And the least amount of time you can have on the play clock, the better off we're going to be here. So the Lions now have a 3rd and 14 here back on their own side of the field at the 48-yard line after the 5-yard offsides penalty. I'm not sure who it was on. I didn't really see it, but Braxton is now in gun with Karis Moore on his left. Peyton Shockey at slot, Ethan Campbell at far receiver. There's a snap to Braxton. He looks to throw, and he doesn't really have anywhere to. He throws it to Peyton at the 49, and that's where he's going to be brought down. So it's going to be a gain of 1 there on the Braxton Dean to Peyton Shockey pass, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 13 now for the Lions. They're going to give him an extra yard. We got that extra yard back from that last one. So it's going to be a 2-yard pass there from Braxton to Peyton, but unfortunately for Lions, it's going to bring up a 4th and 12 here, and it looks like they've got the punt team in.
Yeah, Ethan Parker for the Blackhawks broke through the line there, kind of caused some pressure. I think it may have scared Braxton Dean more than he was actually there. He fell down, but Dean sensed the pressure and threw it away.
New punter for the Lions, that's number 4, Logan Dent, and the punt is up, and it is high and back spinning. That's going to be fair caught by the Blackhawks at the 27-yard line. So the Blackhawks now will start 28-yard line. So the Blackhawks will start their second offensive possession here, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, Graham Notger was the one who was back deep to receive that one. Did a nice job calling for the fair catch, downed it at the, 28 you said. So a little bit better starting field position if you're the Lions here. They give them the ball a little bit further back than their first drive.
Blackhawks already on the line here. New back in the backfield. That's Elijah Dickey. There's a snap, and it's going to be handoff to Dickey, who cuts it back around the middle, and he's going to be brought down across the 35-yard line. That's going to be number 12, Ethan Campbell, on the tackle, and that is going to be that was DJ Ward on the tackle.
I think it was, yeah.
23, DJ Ward, so that's going to be a gain of just short of 10, so it's going to be 9-yard gain here, 2nd and inches now for the Blackhawks. Buchanan back in gun with Dickey to his right. And there is the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Dickey up the middle, who fights his way forward and down to the 40-yard line. So that's going to be a 2-yard pickup, 3-yard pickup there for Dickey. And that's going to give the Blackhawks a new set of downs here on their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, Springs Valley not trying to do too much there. It's 2nd and not even a full yard. They just take a run right up the middle. They knew they could get the first down. Good execution there. 3-yard gain brings up a new set on the 40.
5 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Score is knotted at 0-0. Blackhawks come out. That is a new back in the backfield again, I believe. No, that's the Allstott is back in the backfield. There's a snap going to be handoff to Allstott around the left side. He's got a blocker in a hole, and he is across the 45 down to about the 48-yard line. So that is going to be an 8-yard pickup there for Allstott on first down, and that kid is running hard.
Yeah, one thing that impresses me about Allstott, he gets the ball, and he doesn't just, he kind of hesitates. He takes that hesitation step, looks upfield, see what's developing, and then hits the hole instead of just taking it and immediately turning and going.
So there is a timeout on the field. We are going to take a short break and hit a commercial real quick, and we will be right back after a short commercial break.
The cars and stars of the Arkham and Art Series return to Salem Speedway for the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200, Saturday, September 20th. Don't miss the Young Guns of ARCA battle it out on the high banks, plus exciting action from the Crown Vic. It all kicks off with qualifying at 5:15. Crown Vic feature at 6 o'clock, and the Arkham and Art Series takes the green at 8 p.m. Save big money on discount tickets at Menards. Get all the details at SalemSpeedway.com. It's the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200, Saturday night, September 20th at Salem Speedway.
You heard it here first, Arkham Menard Series at the Salem Speedway tomorrow night. That is going to be an exciting race. Those cars go real fast on the high banks, and it is fun to watch.
Yeah, if you can get away from that IU game for long enough, definitely should go check that out.
So the Blackhawks back on the line, 2 wide receivers here on the near side. There's the snap to Buchanan. He hands it off to Allstott, who breaks the tackle in the backfield, cuts up field, makes his way across the 50 down to the Lions' 48-yard line. So that is going to be a 4-yard pickup there for Allstott on second and short, and that's going to give the Blackhawks a new set of downs here in Lion territory.
Yeah, once again, a dominating run there by the Blackhawks. Haven't seen him throw the ball yet tonight. It's still early, just about 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
And the Blackhawks come back to line, same bunch formation that we've seen. I expect a run here left with Allstott. And Buchanan is in gun. There's a snap handoff left to the Allstott, and he's got some room and around the edge, and he is going to lower his pad and get brought down by Lenny Wynn there, but he's going to pick up 5 yards before he's down. So that's going to bring a 5-yard run there for Allstott on first down and give the Blackhawks a 2nd and 5 now at the Lions' 43-yard line.
Yeah, right place at the right time there for Lenny Wynn. I believe he was on the ground, and then he kind of saw the runner coming his way, sticks his head up, makes a tackle, and knocks Allstott to the turf.
That kid's a lot bigger than Lenny, so he's got to get low tackle.
Yeah.
Blackhawks back in formation here with Buchanan on the quarterback power on the left side. He's got some lead blockers. He makes a move to the outside. He's going to be pushed out of bounds, but not before he makes his way down to the 35-yard line. So that is going to be an 8-yard pickup there for Blake Buchanan on first down. We haven't seen the quarterback power yet, but there it was, and they executed it well.
I like the play call. I mean, you got a quick runner there in Blake Buchanan, gets to the outside, cuts it upfield, and does his job, getting them a new set of downs.
Valley's going quick here, already back to line. Split backs in the backfield now. That's number 42, Augie Perkheiser in the backfield. There's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Perkheiser, who's got a huge hole to run through. Runs across the 30 where he's slung down there by DJ Ward. So that's going to be a gain of 9 for Perkheiser, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and short here. Let's see where they're giving him an extra yard. So let's see where they mark it here. Nope, gain of 9 there, so it's going to be down to the 26-yard line. New back in for the Blackhawks, and he ran hard there on his first carry.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed there, the contact was made about 4 yards short of where he was brought down. He just continued to run hard.
Buchanan takes the snap, handoff to Perkheiser around the left side again, cuts it up, lowers his pads, and is upended there by number 2, Waylon Foster, across the 20-yard line. So that's going to be about let's see here where they're marking it. It's going to be about an 8-yard pickup there for Perkheiser, and that's going to bring up a Blackhawks new set of downs here on the Lions' 18-yard line.
Yeah, 1st and 10 here for Springs Valley, 2:30 left in the first quarter.
Buchanan in gun, split backs with him. There's a handoff to Perkheiser around the left side, cuts it up, is met by Braxton Dean and brought down about the 13-yard line. So that is going to be a 5-yard pickup for Augie Perkheiser on first down. That's going to bring a 2nd and 5 now for the Blackhawks here. And this first quarter is about 5/6 of the way over here with 2 minutes to go. And the first quarter's been gone real quick.
Yeah, Perkheiser met his match there with Braxton Dean. Maybe one of the only guys on wearing the gray jersey tonight that's as big as him.
Yep. Perkheiser comes in at 5'8", 191 pounds, and I think they got his weight wrong as well because he's a big kid as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about these weights. They seem a little light.
Buchanan in gun. There's a handoff to Allstott around the right side, and he fights his way across the 5, and he is just dragging the Lions' defense right now. He was met about the 7-yard line, and he has fought his way down to the 1-yard line. So that is going to be a 12-yard pickup there for Noah Allstott there to get the Blackhawks 1st and goal now on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, play should have been done about the 7. Instead, he just fights forward, fighting for extra yards, gets all the way down to, like you said, the 1.5 yard line.
Yeah, I think they marked him at the 2, actually, so it's going to be an 11-yard pickup there for Allstott on first down. Ethan's going to have to change his stats there. Buchanan in gun with Allstott to his right there. There's a snap handoff to Allstott, and he walks his way into the end zone for a Blackhawk touchdown. And that was just one of those drives there that I think ultimately would have been the result of the first drive had they not have turned the ball over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both drives looked the exact same, just easily marching it down the field. The only difference that first drive was the bad snap.
Yep, and Allstott got most of the load on that one and ultimately put him in the end zone for 6 points. Does not look like Springs Valley has a kicker, so they are lining up to go for 2 here. That is going to be Perkheiser in the backfield with Buchanan now. 1:11 to go here in the first. You got a motion. There's a snap. Handoff to number 34, Carter Andrews, and he is around the left side, but stopped short of the goal line, so that's going to be a no good on the 2-point conversion. And with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go, the Lions trail the Blackhawks 6-0, and we will be back after a short commercial break.
If you're living with back or neck pain, even the simplest tasks can feel overwhelming, but expert relief is closer than you think. Schneck now offers 2 specialized practices for spine care, Schneck Neurosurgery and Schneck Orthopedic Spine, giving you access to a full spectrum of advanced treatment options right here at home. We're proud to highlight Dr. Matthew Stanfield, a highly skilled neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience and leader of Schneck Neurosurgery, renowned for his expertise in treating complex spinal conditions. Schneck Spine Care Program proudly welcomes Dr. Kenneth McKinley, a board-certified orthopedic spine surgeon with over a decade of experience, who now leads Schneck Orthopedic Spine. Together, these 2 practices bring you comprehensive spine care, from advanced imaging and non-surgical therapies to expert surgical solutions, all tailored to your unique needs.
Big shout out to Schneck Hospital. That's how we ended up with Mallory, and always appreciative of the things Mallory does for our sporting program.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like you said, 6-0 here as Valley begins to kick it off. 1:11 left in the first quarter.
There's the kickoff for the Blackhawks. It's going to be fielded by Braxton Dean at the 11-yard line, and he's going to return right up the middle, and he's going to be met at the 25-yard line, so that is where that return will stop. The Lions will take over 1st and 10 here at their own 25-yard line. And, Nick, what do you think the Lions need to do differently on this drive compared to their last drive?
I think they need to mix it up a little bit. I know we're dominantly a run offense, but I think you got to find some passing attempts there. I mean, I know that our offensive line is having a tough time with this Valley defensive unit, but I think you got to try to find a way to make the play calling just a little bit more unpredictable.
Lions come to line. Braxton under center with Moore and Dent in the backfield. 2 receivers on the near side here. There's a snap toss around the right side to Dent, and he's going to be patient and find a hole, and he is hit hard by a Blackhawk defender right at the 30-yard line. So that's going to be a 5-yard pickup for Logan Dent on 1st down there. Good hard run from Logan here as we are under a minute now, but that play looked pretty good there for the Lions.
Yeah, it did. I mean, a nice execution there, 2nd and 5. The Lions' offense looked really good last possession as well, if you remember. They just kind of stalled out.
Yep. So Braxton comes out in gun now with Dent on his right. It's 2 wide receivers on the near side there. And Braxton takes a snap. It's a quick pass to number 3, Peyton Shockey, and he's got a little bit of room to run and a blocker ahead of him, and he's going to make his way down to the 40-yard line. So that's going to be a 10-yard pitch and catch there from Braxton Dean to Peyton Shockey, and that's just what we talked about. We got to find some pass attempts.
Yeah,
and it looks like Salem has.
Find a way to mix up the offense a little bit. Take it in the hands of your quarterback. Let him throw the ball. Great execution there. Even better play by Shockey. Gets up the field. And he had probably 2 or 3 yards after contact there as well.
Yep, absolutely. Great play there from a playmaker for the Lions. Gets the ball in the athlete's hands and let him run. So the Lions come to the line here. Let's see if they get a snap-off before the end of the first quarter. We got 3 seconds to go here. And Braxton's in gun, and they do not get the snap-off. So that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter, where the Blackhawks lead the Lions 6-0. We're going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
When it comes to getting the job done right, from driveways to bridge work and paving to construction and excavating, there's one name you can count on: Temple and Temple Excavating. Serving homeowners and also handling big jobs for city, county, and state highway projects, they've built a reputation on quality work since 1948. Driveways, construction, demolition. If you need it moved, cleared, built, or torn down, call Temple and Temple Excavating at 812-883-6644. Temple and Temple, digging deep and building strong communities, one project at a time. Call Temple and Temple today and get the job done right.
And we are back here at Paulie Graves Athletic Stadium at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions trail the Blackhawks 6-0 at the beginning of the second quarter here. And the Lions are back to the line, 1st and 10 on their own 40. Braxton's in gun. There's a snap. It's going to be a bobbled snap. He's going to roll to his right, and he's looking to throw, and he's got some blocking on the end. There's a flag flying in the middle of the backfield, and Braxton is going to pick up a yard, but this one's going to be 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, I believe, is where they will be spotting this one. I believe they got the Lions there for a hold.
I think it's going to be against Aiden Taylor there. I could be wrong. I thought he maybe held.
Let's see here. It's going to be holding on the Lions there, so that's going to be 10 yards from the spot, I believe. And they're going to mark it at the line of scrimmage, so that's going to bring the Lions to a 1st and 20 now on their... Nope, they are going to mark it from the spot. Let's see here. Where are they calling the spot of the foul at?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be 1st and forever here.
So they're going to mark that. Nope, it is going to be from line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 1st and 20 now for the Lions here on their own 30. And that play got bad at the snap, and it just progressively got worse as the play continued.
Yeah, I think Dean, obviously he can't help the hold. He would have been better off to throw the ball down the field and into the out of bounds.
There is the motion from Whalen. It's going to be a toss around the right side to Denton, who's met in the backfield and dropped immediately for a loss of 1. So that's going to be a 1-yard loss there for number 4, Logan Dent. And there's a flag on the play late. And I'm not sure what this is for.
Probably some extracurricular activity out there.
I believe it's on the Lions, though. So that is not good for the Lions. They're going to move 15 yards back now. Unsportsmanlike on the Lions. On number 50... Number 5, I think.
I think it was number 5, Caden Romero, but yeah, he's holding his hands up, confused on what the call was. I didn't see anything, but I wasn't watching for it either.
Yep, unsportsmanlike on the Lions. So that is now going to bring up the Lions with a 2nd and 36, I believe, here.
It's a 2nd and forever, that's for sure.
So, yep, 2nd and 36 now for the Lions. They have the ball 2nd and 36 at their own 14. The first down marker is at midfield at the 50. So let's see what the Lions have cooked up here on 2nd and 36.
I don't know what I would do if I was Coach Pennington here. I mean, part of me says throw it down the field, but then again, you kind of got to preserve here and try to find a way to punt it away.
So they come back to the line with Braxton under... No, that is... Yeah, Braxton under center. No, he's in gun. Braxton's in gun with Dent on his right. Everybody's standing around. Confused me. Wide receiver on the near side, wide receiver on the far side. Braxton's set, and he takes the snap, and he's going to fake the handoff to Dent, and he's going to look left, and he is getting pressure. He's pushed out of the pocket. He's going to throw it down the field to number 5, Caden Romero, who's going to fight his way down to the 24-yard line. So it's going to be a 10-yard pickup there on the pitch and catch from Braxton to Caden. And that was a great, nice little out route there from the tight end position for Romero to take some yards off of that penalty.
Yeah, it's a 3rd and 26. Got 10 yards there. Good play design. Romero goes up, brings the ball down, scampers out of bounds for a 10-yard pickup.
So the Lions have the ball, 3rd and 26 now here on their own 24-yard line. And at this point, you just want to try to get as much downfield so that way the punt can put them in the best position possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was 3rd and 14 on their first possession. Now they're at a 3rd and 26. We talked about finding 3rd and shorts. The Lions haven't done so far.
There's the motion from Dent. It's going to be a fake toss to Dent. Braxton's on the rollout to the right. He's got Karras in the middle of the field. He gets him at the 30. Karras runs over a Blackhawk defender and fights his way down to the 37-yard line. Another great pitch and catch there for 13 yards from Braxton to Karras Moore, and that does put the Lions in much better position to punt there as they make their way down to the 37-yard line. Nice little pitch and catch there from the Lions offense.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it earlier. You got to find a way to mix it up. That's the best 2 plays the Lions have ran all night. It's unfortunate that they had a hold and unsportsmanlike. That's 25 yards right there that they lost.
So Dent's in for the punt. There's the snap. Punt is up, and it's a good punt down to across the 30. It's going to be fielded at the 25, and he doesn't have anywhere to go, and Waylon Foster's just going to make the first attack, throw him out of bounds, and then throw him onto the bench. There comes the flag, and that's going to be another 15 yards on the end of the return. And unfortunately, that is 2 bonehead mistakes there from the Lions, and that's going to add on 15 to the return there for the Blackhawks.
You can't do it. You can't bring him down out of bounds. I mean, he's all the way across the black coaching box there by the time they brought him down.
If you take your hands off, hold him up, you're fine. Unfortunately, I think they saw the same thing we did from Waylon, was the little shove into the bench area. That's going to get you 15 every time.
Yeah, so what would have been really good punt, really good result, and pinned them back to about the 30. Instead, they're going to come all the way out to the 43.
Yep, so that is going to be the second major penalty on the Lions here in this quarter, so within the last minute 55 seconds. And the Blackhawk offense is already set and ready to run their next play. And they've got a new back in the backfield. They run a ton of different backs. And that is going to be number 23 for the Blackhawks, who's around the right side, breaks the tackle in the backfield. He is quick, and he makes his way down to there's a flag on the play there now, too. There's another flag flying, and I think this one's probably going to be a face mask.
Yeah, number 23, Bryson Cave, brings in some speed to a backfield that's dominated more by power backs. He kind of is the speed boost that the Blackhawks use, gets around the edge, nice pickup there, and they're going to tack on some more.
So that is a 5-yard pickup for the moment. It's going to be a face mask on the Lions there, so that is going to be another 5 yards, and that is going to give the Blackhawks a first down. So 5 on the run for number 23, Bryson Cave, like Nick said, and then we're going to add another 5 on for the face mask. Coach Pennington has had enough of these penalties. He is going to take a timeout. Nick and I are going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back in just a second.
Hoosier fans, the 2025 Indiana football season is underway with head coach Kurt Signetti leading your Hoosiers on to victory. The next home game on Saturday, September 20th versus the Illinois Fighting Illini is sold out. So don't miss out on your chance to attend more sellouts at Memorial Stadium by purchasing your tickets for the remaining games this season. Call 812-855-4006 or visit IUHoosiers.com to order your tickets today. Cheer on your Hoosiers to victories this fall and help pack the rock.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field at Paul A. Graves Athletic Stadium, where the Lions trail the Blackhawks 6-0 with 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the second quarter. But like that commercial said, pack the rock tomorrow night. Get out to Memorial Stadium at Merchants Bank Field and enjoy the IU Hoosiers on another Saturday night football action.
$100 will get you in the door there. I know it's an expensive ticket, but it's one of the biggest games in Indiana history, especially over the past, 10, 15 seasons.
Oh, absolutely. Buchanan in gun there. There's a motion. There's a snap. Buchanan looks back to throw, and he's just going to sail one upfield, and it's going to be a jump ball that is not caught. The intended receiver was Landon Weeks. He's a 6'2", 166-pound wide receiver, and he is very slow to get up. Back on coverage, I believe, was Peyton Shockey and Waylon Foster both. Great defensive play there from the Lions. And I think Buchanan just threw that up with a prayer that his bigger kid was going to come down with it.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact before he went up for the ball. I'd say it was just both ways. I think that's the reason that you didn't see the yellow flag fly. But actually, Weeks almost came down with the football there.
It's a great offensive play there from Weeks, but great defensive play there from the Lions. The Blackhawks 2nd and 10 now on the Lions 47. Buchanan's in gun. There's a snap. It's going to be a handoff around left side to Allstott, who cuts it up the middle, runs over his own player, and he is going to be stopped at the 42-yard line. So it's going to be a 5-yard pickup there for Allstott on first down. And that's going to set the Blackhawks up with a 3rd and 5.
Really late whistle there. This is the first 3rd down that we've seen for Springs Valley tonight, I believe. And it's a 3rd and 5 on the Lions side of the field.
We're in 4-down territory now for the Blackhawks, so instead of getting 1 defensive stop, the Lions have to now get 2 defensive stops here. And it looks like the Blackhawks are going to come out in kind of a very much heavy power formation here with Buchanan in the backfield and Allstott beside him. And it's going to be a snap to Buchanan. He hands it off to Allstott, who cuts it up the middle across the 40. And he is brought down by number 77, Bryden Stafford. Great play there from Bryden. And they're going to mark him. This is all going to determine on where they mark him. They mark him at the 38, so it's a 4-yard pickup, and he is a yard short, so it's now 4th and 1 for the Lions, and this is a big defensive play right here.
I was going to say that depends on the spot. He was very close. Lions get one back from what happened to him earlier, and it'll bring up a 4th and very, very short.
4th and 1 for the Blackhawks. Buchanan in gun. Dickey to his right side. There's a snap, handoff to Dickey, who finds a hole, finds some blockers, runs through it, breaks a couple tackles, gets across the 30 down to the 29-yard line. So that is going to be a 9-yard pickup there for Elijah Dickey, and that's going to give the Blackhawks another first down here as they get closer to the Lions' end zone.
Yeah, 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Valley 6-0, threatening to score here once again.
Buchanan in gun, Allstott to his left, bunch formation at the end of the line on the right for the Blackhawks. Ball is at the 29. There's a snap handoff to Allstott around the right side, who tries to cut it out, but decides to cut it back, breaks a couple tackles. He's got some room to run. He's across the 10, lowers his pads, and runs over top of Waylon Foster down to the 4-yard line. So that is going to be a 25-yard pickup there for Allstott, and that's going to set the Blackhawks up first and goal now on the 4-yard line.
Allstott saw the end zone. He actually cut the ball back in with the intent to run over Waylon Foster there. Not sure why he did it. I thought he had a free look at a touchdown.
So the Blackhawks back in gun. There's a snap handoff around the left side to Dickey, who lowers his pads, runs over Karras Moore. That's a big boy to run over. And that's going to bring up a second and goal here on the 1-yard line. We almost had some extracurriculars over there on the right side between DJ Ward and a Blackhawk, but luckily DJ got his mind in the right place right before he did something that got another flag.
It's going to be something to watch here, especially as this game develops in the second half. The Lions already 2 unnecessary penalties. If they want any chance at coming back in this ballgame, they have to limit it right now.
Buchanan back in gun, Allstott to his left. There's the snap. It's going to be a QB power for Buchanan. He's going to find his blockers and walk into the end zone, and that is going to extend the Blackhawk lead to 12-0, pending the extra point here as they put some more points on the board with 6:41 to go before halftime.
Yeah, 12-0, 6:41 to go, like you said. I assume they'll go for 2. They don't even have a kicker listed on their roster, so I think they're just one of those teams that goes for 2 each and every time.
Number 7, Anakin Kiamo, does kick off for them. I'm guessing there's no PATs out of them, though. Buchanan in gun. There's a snap to Buchanan. He rolls out to his right, and he's looking to throw, and it's going to be broke up at the goal line by Peyton Shockey. Great defensive play there from Peyton Shockey. The intended receiver was number 15, Graham Notger, and that's going to be a big stop there for the Lions defense to not allow them to take the 14-0 lead.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really curious about is why don't they treat it like a 4th and 2, give it up the middle, and take the 2 points each and every time? Because you've got to think they probably could.
We last night when we went to Providence, Providence runs very similar offense to what Springs Valley runs at their middle school level. I'm not sure what the high school runs, but it's a lot of power left, power right, power left. And every time we got inside for the 2-point conversion, they did not run any of those plays and tried to throw the ball or something they hadn't done, and they never got a 2-point conversion last night.
Yeah, I'm sure that they practice like 2-point sets. You got to think pretty much every team in the state would, unless you just had a dominant PAT kicker, but then you'd still need 1 or 2 plays in the bag for the end of the game. And maybe that's just something that they like to do, is to change it up a little bit. Not exactly sure why they do, though.
Yep, but for the moment, Anakin Kiamo is in sets to kick for the Blackhawks here. Back deep is Peyton Shockey and Braxton Dean of the Lions. Kiamo's kick is a good one, down to about the 12, fielded by Peyton Shockey around up the middle, and he's going to be chased down from behind at the 30-yard line. So that is going to set the Lions up here. Let's see, they're going to mark him at the 31, a little extra yard there on the spot. So Lions' offensive drive will start 1st and 10 on their own 31.
Yeah, good return there from Shockey. I mean, did everything that he could, got the ball upfield, made a cut around a defender, brought it all the way back to the 31. And I know it may only seem like an extra, 10, 11 yards, but I can promise you that 10 or 11 extra is huge.
Can make a big difference, especially with 6 minutes and 34 seconds to go here before halftime. For the moment, Braxton is under center with Moore behind him in the backfield, a receiver on the near side here. That's Ethan Campbell. There's a snap. It's going to be a pass to Ethan, who's going to catch it at the 36 and get met immediately by a Blackhawk defender, and they're going to give him an awful spot there. And that's going to be a gain of 4. It should have been a gain of 6, but they didn't give him forward progress there.
Yeah, forward progress was forgotten about there. Graham Knocker, though, credit to him, huge hit there on the outside on Ethan Campbell. Campbell switches up. He doesn't want anything to do with Knocker anymore.
Braxton's under center with Moore in the backfield. Near receivers, Waylon Foster. Far receivers, Peyton Shockey. That's Logan Dent in motion. There's a snap around the right side to Dent, and he's going to run his way across the 40-yard line down to the 41-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to mark him. So that is going to be a pickup of about 6, and they're going to give him 7 there, and that's going to get the Lions a first down. Great hard run there from junior running back Logan Dent.
Yeah, the spots tonight have been very questionable. We definitely got a free yard there. It's enough to pick up the first, and the offensive drive continues here. 5:30 left in the first half.
Braxton's under center, Moore and Dent both in the backfield. Now Peyton Shockey at near slot. There's a snap to Braxton. He's going to fake the handoff to Karras, hand it off to Logan up the middle, and he takes a couple big hits there. And great block there from number 50, Cage Calloway, as he pancakes number 42 for the Blackhawks. That is Augie Perkheiser, and he's a lot bigger than Cage, but great block there from Cage. That's going to be a 2-yard pickup there for Dent, and that's going to set the Lions up 2nd and 8 now on the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Dent's just not at 8 yards tonight. But like you said, he's running hard.
Braxton's back under center, Moore in the backfield. There's snap fake handoff to Moore. It's going to be a pop pass to number 5, Caden Romero, across the 50, across the 45, across the 40, and that is going to be a first down now for the Lions. That is going to be a big play down to the Blackhawks 37-yard line. That's going to be about a 19-yard pickup there on the pitch and catch.
Yeah, beautiful play call there from the Lions. Throws it ahead. Big tight end target there in Romero, and they pick up the first.
1st and 10 now for the Lions on the Blackhawks 37. Braxton's under center with Moore the lone back in the backfield. There's a snap. It's going to be a fake handoff, and it's going to be another pop pass, and he's going to hit Peyton Shockey at the 30, and he is going to be upended at the 26. So that's going to be another 9-yard pickup there. No, they're going to give him 11 on that one. They're going to give him 11 yards. I did the math wrong.
Yeah, 26.
Yeah. It's going to be 26. Ball was at the 37. That is 11 yards. Brandon, come on now.
Another big hit, though, by Graham Knocker on the outside there. He is really laying the hits.
The Lions pass offense, you talked about it, Nick. The Lions pass offense is moving the ball well right now as Braxton's back under center. Moore and Dent in the backfield. There is a snap. It's going to be tossed around the left side to Dent, who cuts it back up the middle, finds a hole, and he's going to make his way down to the 21-yard line. So it's going to be a 5-yard pickup there from Logan Dent on 1st down. Another great run from Logan, and this Lions offense is moving here with 3:45 to go before halftime.
Yeah, officially the board will read 2nd and 4, like you said, just over 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Blackhawks with the 12-0 lead. This is where the Lions take that clock all the way down to 1 or 2 seconds.
Yep, they get the ball after halftime, so if they can go in and it be 12-6, that is going to be 12-8. That will be helpful. Braxton's under center, Moore and Shockey in the backfield. Now there's a snap toss around the right side to Peyton, who cuts it up the middle, has a big hole. He's across the 10, spins up past the defender at the 5, fights his way into the end zone. That is going to be a 20-yard run there for Peyton Shockey, and that is going to give the Lions a touchdown. And it's a 20-yard pickup there for Peyton Shockey on the toss. He cuts it back up the middle. The Lions now trail 12-6 with Blake Applegate in for the PAT. There is the snap. Hold is down. Kick is up. It's a low kick, and it is going to be good in the bottom right corner of the goalpost. So that is going to make the lead now for the Blackhawks 12-7 after a great offensive drive there for the Lions.
He drove that ball just barely over the upright. I honestly couldn't even tell from here. I thought it was good, but really that was one that you had to wait for the signal for sure.
Great offensive drive there for the Lions. They did take most of the second quarter. Actually, that was a pretty quick drive for the Lions there, about a 3.5-minute drive there. So now the defense has to step up big, but great play there from Peyton Shockey, who caught the pitch, cut it back up the middle, spun off of a defender at the 5-yard line, and dove his way into the end zone, and that will put the Lions at 7, Blackhawks 12 here with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go right before halftime.
Yeah, this 3-minute and 18-second period here doesn't determine the game by any means, but if the Lions can get a stop, that would be huge headed into the locker room. Like you mentioned earlier, the Lions do get the ball to start the second half. So if you're Coach Pennington, you say, look, just get the stop here, and we're going to take the lead right out of the gate.
Absolutely. It's definitely big there. We can't let Valley get more points on the board. We need to go into halftime with a 1-score deficit, or if we can force a quick 3-and-out, maybe put some more points on the board before halftime.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, anything's possible here for the Lions. They've had a hard time slowing down the Blackhawks. The only stop there was on the fumble, but anything's possible. Decent kick there.
There's a deep kick for Blake Applegate. It's going to be fielded by Notger at the 15, who's around the right side. And there is a great return for Notger down the sideline. He's across the 45, the 40, cuts back at the 30. He's got some room to run, getting chased by Waylon Foster, and Waylon's going to bring him down right at the goal line. And they are going to give the Blackhawks a touchdown on the kick return. There was a flag that flew late, and let's see what the flag's for. I don't think it's going to determine if there was a touchdown or not. I believe it was after the score.
It was absolutely after the score. I think what happened is Knocker turned around, exchanged some words with Foster. This penalty could be against either guy, though. I'm not sure.
I believe it's probably going to be against the Blackhawks with the way the refs were acting and the way the ref looked right after he threw the flag. And I'm assuming since Knocker scored the touchdown, he probably was the one that was talking. One thing I want to talk about here in just a second after we figure out what this penalty was a block that happened about the 35-yard line on Ethan Campbell. Let's see what we're doing here.
They're setting the ball on the 2 here.
So the flag will be assessed on the kickoff, I believe. So the Blackhawks offense is now on the field for the 2-point conversion, with Buchanan in gun, Allstott to his left. And there is a snap, and it's going to be a handoff to Allstott around the right side, who cuts up the middle and tries to fight his way into the end zone. Does not get there. Great stop there by number 5, Caden Romero. So that will not be good for the 2-point conversion. So the Blackhawks lead 18-7 here with 3:01 to go right before halftime. One blocker I want to talk about here is the IHSA implemented a new rule when I was in high school called a crackback block. What that means is you cannot block somebody, you cannot take somebody's head off unless they see you. Right over there on the sideline, I saw Ethan Campbell just get absolutely decleated by a kid who was running back to block. Should have been a 15-yard flag, and the touchdown should have gotten called back.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, if that's the ruling on it, it should have been. I'm assuming everyone's eyes were downfield on the runner. Just an unfortunate break from the line. So that's just how it goes. I mean, you can't dwell on it too much. You just got to come out. They have 3 minutes to go. It's plenty of time to get a score back here.
So while we've got a second, I do want to talk about one other thing. This weekend is the Beer on the Bricks at Salem. That does not mean you have to go drink. The Beer on the Bricks is a fundraiser for Tri Kappa. Tri Kappa is a great organization that donates a lot of their money back to the community. So they do a fundraiser, Beer on the Bricks. Obviously, if you're over the age of 21, they also have some adult beverages there. But it is not anything where you can't go have a good time unless you drink. So definitely check that out tomorrow night. I believe that starts at 6 o'clock, so get that checked out if you have the time.
Busy day tomorrow, it sounds like.
Big kick for Kiamo down to the 35 after the penalty flag was counted on the kickoff, and Peyton Shockey's on the return. There's another flag flying. Not sure what this flag's for.
Yeah, I really don't have any clue. Hopefully it helps the Lions, or they're going to give back all the yards that they gained by the penalty at the end of the touchdown.
Ethan, how many penalties do we already have? The Lions have 5 and Springs Valley has 6 penalties so far in the game already. This, I believe, will be the 7th. Let's see what's play called. Let's see what flag is here.
Yeah, they're not.
They have not signaled in what the play is. It's going to be a block in the back on the Lion. So that will set them back now on the return. And like Nick said, that pretty much negates the penalty that we were given on unfortunately, like on the touchdown.
And the big problem is it's not just the penalties. It's that you have the unsportsmanlike penalty, completely uncalled for. You have the late hit or hit out of bounds, whatever you want to call it, also uncalled for. And those are two that you can just completely correct. I mean, blocking the backs are going to happen. You see it every game. Same thing with holds. But those 2 penalties are something that you can correct, and that's just a mental penalty more than it is physical.
So the Lions have the ball 1st and 10 here on their own 28-yard line after the 15-yard block in the back penalty. Braxton's under center with Moore the lone back in the backfield. Peyton Shockey's in a twirl motion. There's a snap. Toss to Karras around the right side, who cuts it back up the middle and is stopped at the 31 is where they're going to mark him. So that was about an 8-yard pickup there for Karras on 1st down. Great hard run for Karras. And that gives the Lions a 2nd and 2 now here with 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go before halftime. They trail the Blackhawks 18-7.
Yeah, big run there by Karras. It's going to bring up, like you said, a 2nd and 2 here. This is where you do not want to bring the play clock low. You got to try to get the snaps off quick. If it seems like your drive's stalling out, then maybe you wait.
Braxton's in gun now with Moore on his left. There's a snap. Braxton's going to look to throw. And it's going to be intended receiver. It's going to be Waylon Foster at the 40, who does not catch the ball. The pass was a little high, and Waylon could not catch it. And that is going to be an incomplete pass. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Waylon wanted a flag there, but really there's no flag to throw there.
No, Whalen got his hands on the ball there. Just a big hit there on the outside, stopping the play. I think one of the coaches was signaling it. Dean's got to throw that ball just a little bit more downfield. He's got to lead his receiver. Whalen's a quick kid, but he's not that quick.
Braxton is under center with Moore and Dent in the backfield. Receiver on the near side, Peyton Shockey. Far side is Ethan Campbell. And there is the snap to Braxton. He's going to toss around the right side to Dent, and he's going to be met at the line, but he's going to break that tackle, and he's going to get down to the 40-yard line. So that is going to be a stoppage in the play clock, or in the game clock, due to the first down. So that is going to be a what was that pickup there, Ethan? 4-yard pickup there for Braxton or Logan Dent on third down, and give the Lions a new set of downs here on the 40-yard line.
Under 2 minutes to go here. Got to watch the clock. 18-7. The Blackhawks lead. Like we said, if the Lions can get a score here going into half, that'd be huge.
Braxton's under center. That's Dent in motion. Snap, fake toss to Dent. He's got Karis Moore at the 50 who catches it, runs his way across the 45 of the Blackhawks and down to the 41. So that is going to be a 19-yard pitch and catch from Braxton Dean to Karis Moore, and that's going to be a timeout Lions. And Nick and I are going to take a timeout as well, and we will be back after a short commercial break.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, two great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
One thing is consistent. Things change. A lot can happen in a year, and usually does. Things change. When they do, your insurance policy should too. Talk to Jason Pepmeyer at Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Call 812-883-2995 or visit infarmbureau.com. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
And we are back here with a minute 36 to go before halftime, and the Lions are back on the line, 1st and 10 at the Blackhawks 41. And Braxton's under center. There's the fake handoff to Karras. It's going to be a little swing pass to Logan Dent. It's behind him, and they haven't blown it dead, and they did end up blowing it dead. And that, I can tell you, was a backwards pass, and the refs really helped the Lions there, because that could have been a score for the Blackhawks.
The official on the Lions sideline was actually signaling for an incomplete pass, but all the other officials didn't make any motion, no whistles, nothing.
So we've got a minute 28 to go here before halftime. Blackhawks lead 18-7 over the Lions, and it's 2nd and 10 now for the Lions on the Blackhawks 41. Braxton's under center. That's Dent in motion. There's a snap. It's going to be a fake toss to Dent around the left. It's going to be a pass back across the middle to Peyton Shockey at the 35. He's going to make his way across the 30, and he's going to trot out of bounds at the 26-yard line, and that's going to be a 15-yard pickup there for the Lions on 2nd down, and that's going to give them a new set of downs now to the Blackhawks 26-yard line.
Huge play there for the Lions, and great job by Peyton Shockey to get out of bounds, stopping the clock at a minute and 22 seconds. It's frozen here for an upcoming 1st and 10. The Lions have found some offensive spark through the air here, Brandon.
Absolutely. The pass game, we talked about it. It's going to be big, and it is. Braxton takes a snap, and he throws a high ball into the hands of a Blackhawk at the 10-yard line, and he's going to make his way around the 10. He's going to be brought down by Ethan Campbell there at the 11-yard line, 12-yard line. I'm 5 yards off. That's the 17-yard line. But I will say, we talked about the pass game. Unfortunately, Braxton couldn't have thrown really much of a worse ball there on the pop pass, sailed it over the receiver's head, threw it over the defender's head, but unfortunately there was another defender behind him who the ball did fall into his hands there, and that's going to bring Blackhawks 1st and 10 now at the 17, and they've got a minute and 12 seconds, and I believe 2 timeouts. Is that correct, Ethan?
Yeah, they got 2. I mean, Graham Knocker, good heads-up play there. Honestly, it just fell into his hands.
So Buchanan's back in gun with that is all Stott to his right. It's going to be a Buchanan on a quarterback power around the right side who cuts up the middle and is swung down aggressively by number 77, Bryden Stafford, and also number 7, Karis Moore. So that's going to be a 4-yard pickup there for Buchanan on 1st down, and they're 50 seconds to go here, and they're just letting the clock run.
Yeah, they're going to let the clock run. It's kind of surprising, but at the same time, they feel pretty confident 18-7 headed into the halftime locker room.
Buchanan is done with split backs beside him. There's a snap handoff to the left side to Perkiser, who cuts back up the middle and breaks the tackle, and he's going to spin his way down to the 30-yard line. If they get in that spot, they're definitely a yard too far. The clock will stop for the chain movement. They are going to give him the 30-yard line, so that's going to be a 9-yard pickup there for Perkiser, and that's going to give the Blackhawks a new set of downs on their own 30-yard line. Clock is down to 22 seconds now.
Clock started extremely quick there.
There is the snap to Buchanan. It's going to be a rollout to the right, and he's looking to throw, and he is going to throw, and it's going to be intended receiver. It's going to be Kiamo, and it's going to be intercepted by Peyton Shockey at the 40-yard line. Great defensive play there from Peyton Shockey. He pretty much just took the ball out of Kiamo's hands, and that was a huge defensive stop there for the Lions.
Yeah, Kiamo was fighting for the ball there, fighting for possession. Great play there by Peyton Shockey to take the ball away. I think it's a little bit too late to really have any time to march the ball down the field here. Maybe a couple quick prayer shots for the Lions here if they don't just kneel it out, which is, I believe, is what they're going to do.
They are in the what we call victory formation to take the knees here. But let's see, and Braxton's going to take a snap and take the knee. So we will head into halftime here with the Springs Valley Blackhawks leading the Salem Lions 18-7. But before we go into our halftime show, a couple score updates. We've got Paoli over West Washington 21-6, Corden over Clarksville 20-0, Providence over Charlestown 7-0, Floyd Central over Jeff 14-0, and Brownstown over North Harrison 21-7. We also have B&L over Seymour 7-0, and we have Crawford County and Mitchell knotted at 0. Silver Creek and Scottsburg 0-0. And I believe that's going to do it for us for the first half. Nick, do you have anything you want to say before we take a commercial break? Or before we take our halftime break?
No, I think I'm good till halftime.
All right, so we're going to take our halftime break. We will get our halftime show on here, and then we will be back here with some unofficial Ethan stats. Instead of unofficial Zach stats, we've got unofficial Ethan stats right now. So we will be back after a halftime show.
Stand by for the second half on WSLM 97.9 FM. It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bob Lovell. This is our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA. It's Paul Neidig. And Commissioner, week 5 of the high school football season approaching us. We have a girls golf sectionals beginning this week. Tell me I'm losing my mind. It doesn't seem possible that we're already there. And on top of that, October the 12th will be the pairing show for football. So help me understand what's going on.
You know, the days get shorter, coach, and as the days get shorter, we get close to the tournament season, and that's, just right around the corner. You know, girls golf, we started back the first week of August, and they've been playing and getting better, and we're going to start the March Storage Prairie Golf Course, where we hold the state finals here this weekend, so it should shape up to be a really good tournament. But yeah, time flies with football and pairing shows, and everything that we do as far as fall sport offerings is right around the corner. We're excited to get there, but the good thing is we're ready. We plan every day for our tournaments and constantly have conversations with people that are going to host for us, our great member schools, to see what kind of spin we can put on this year's chapter of IHSAA sports.
If you want to be a real sports fan, you need to think about becoming a licensed official in the IHSAA. It's a shortage. It's a problem, not just here in Indiana, but across the country. So give that a thought. What can people do, Paul? Can they go to a portion of your website and find out how to get involved in becoming a licensed official?
Yeah, the easiest way is to go to ihsaa.org, and there's a tab at the top of the page that has the word officials on it. If you simply click on that officials, it'll start walking you through the process. And we encourage people. We love to play the game, and one way you can always stay connected is becoming an official. And we've got, I constantly hear from enjoy it, number one, but how close they become to other officials, and it's really kind of it's a neat group of guys. I mean, they play golf together and they learn how to become better officials, and I know some that even travel together when they're going on vacation. They become that close with other officials, and I always tell people, you never have to quit playing the game. You just got to do something different. Some people coach it, some people watch it, but the best thing to do is go out and officiate these contests.
You talked about a lot of things. You're on the road still, meeting with your constituents around the state in your annual fall meetings with schools. I'm hopeful that continues to be successful and beneficial for everybody with everybody involved.
It is. It's so important for us with 410 member schools now for us to get out and meet with each of them. And we traveled to 8 different spots around the state over a period of time. And we want to present information, but also we want to be on a listening tour. And whether we're talking in the hallway before or after or during the meeting, it gives us a chance to touch base with our membership, because not all of our schools look the same. And if you're at Shakamak with a 1A school, it looks different than if you're at Carmel High School here in central Indiana.
We continue to march toward the end of football. Week number 5 is upon us as we speak. To this point, you and the rest of your staff have done a masterful job of handling the weather.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Weather is certainly something that's very important to us. People get out in nice nights, but Coach, one thing now too, if we do end up with a bad weather evening, there's an opportunity to watch these games on IHSATV.org, and you can get out, and a lot of games are broadcast on Friday and Saturday nights, and there's a chance to continue to watch the games, even if the weather's not so great. And we would encourage people to try that option also, if the weather dictates that.
Once again, Commissioner, thanks for your time. Be safe on the highways, and thanks for all you do.
Thanks, Coach, and everybody tune in to Friday and Saturday night as you travel home, so you can listen to Coach talk about all the great games in the state.
Thanks for listening to the Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and Coach Bob Lovell. And thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Are you ready for a touchdown of savings? It's football season, and we're kicking off the biggest sale of the year at John Jones Auto Group. Whether you're tailgating or heading to the big game, we've got the perfect ride for you. From sporty SUVs to family-friendly minivans, every vehicle is priced to win. Plus, enjoy unbeatable trade-in deals, 0% financing, and available service contracts that keep you covered long after the final whistle. So why wait? Gear up for greatness with John Jones Auto Group. We're your winning team for the best cars and deals around. Visit us today at one of our 4 convenient locations, Salem, Scottsburg, Greenville, or Corydon, or check us out online at johnjonesautogroup.com. And remember, John Jones Auto Group. You see so many because they paid so little.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance, but not just any insurance. We're good at...
No.
Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance. When the forecast calls for cheese ball fight tail insurance. Even couldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Call your Washington County Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer, at 812-620-8923.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, 2 great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
Planning to buy some land or build a new home or maybe put up a fence? Do you know your property line? Are you in a floodplain? When it comes to surveying your property, call someone you can trust with years of experience. That's McAllister Land Consulting. Call 812-274-0860, providing fast, friendly service at reasonable rates. McAllister Land Consulting can provide provide a wide range of services, including residential and commercial certified land surveys, flood elevation certificates, and land usage consulting. Get to know your property. Call McAllister Land Consulting for a free quote today at 812-274-0860. Let's get on our feet and give a big hand to the starting lineup at McDonald's here in Salem. The quarter pounder is coming on the field. Filet of fish and those golden delicious fries are warming up on the sideline. And now for the featured star of the night, the Big Mac. You score every time with a hot fresh meal from McDonald's in Salem, whether you're there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Take a time out and stop by before or after the big game to check out their all-day breakfast menu or value menu. Download the McDonald's app and you can get great deals on delicious tastes all day long, including buy 5 McCafe drinks and get one free. You'll score every time with the White Meat Kids when you make a touchdown at the Golden Arches right here in Salem. And don't forget, McDonald's has gift cards so you can give that great fresh taste all season long.
The end of summer is coming faster than we would like. That's why we're savoring every moment and every flavor at Summer Wine Down at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Festive dishes paired with Indiana wines. Very scary sangrias by the pool. Thanksgiving treats featuring coasters. Festive foods, select wines, collectible cups. One giant celebration. August 4th through September 13th at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Come for the thrills. Stay for the flavors. Get your tickets at holidayworld.com.
At Papa John's, get your everyday favorites for just $6.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium, one-topping pizzas, boneless or traditional wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, garlic knots, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $6.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to watch the game, or you're tailgating at one of the local high schools, or to the IU, Purdue, or Colts games, be sure to take plenty of good food. Check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Call Reese at 812-883-3369 for pickup or delivery, or order online to collect your Papa Rewards. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
If you're living with back or neck pain, even the simplest tasks can feel overwhelming. But expert relief is closer than you think. SNEC now offers 2 specialized practices for spine care, SNEC Neurosurgery and SNEC Orthopedic Spine, giving you access to a full spectrum of advanced treatment options right here at home. We're proud to highlight Dr. Matthew Stanfield, a highly skilled neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience and leader of SNEC Neurosurgery, renowned for his expertise in treating complex spinal conditions. SNEC Spine Care Program proudly welcomes Dr. Kenneth McKinley, a board-certified orthopedic spine surgeon with over a decade of experience, who now leads SNEC Orthopedic Spine. Together, these 2 practices bring you comprehensive spine care, from advanced imaging and non-surgical therapies to expert surgical solutions, all tailored to your unique needs. And because it's SNEC, you'll receive compassionate, high-quality care without having to travel far. Visit SNECmed.org to learn more. SNEC Orthopedic Spine and SNEC Neurosurgery, expert spine care, close to home.
When it comes to getting the job done right, from driveways to bridge work and paving to construction and excavating, there's one name you can count on: Temple & Temple Excavating. Serving homeowners and also handling big jobs for city, county, and state highway projects, they built a reputation on quality work since 1948. Driveways, construction, demolition. If you need it moved, cleared, built, or torn down, call Temple & Temple Excavating at 812-883-6644. Temple & Temple have been supporting Washington County for 77 years, one project at a time. Call Temple & Temple today at 812-883-6644.
We're talking with Salem Territory Account Manager Brian Rund out of Lafayette. Brian, what do we see for soybean fields in Indiana?
I think we are set up really well for a good crop at this point in the year and going forward. Some of the areas that had been dry earlier are now pretty much back to normal. Most of it rating good to excellent, and I think with some soil moisture and continued good weather, we're on track for a good crop in 25.
Brian, are there any challenges that Indiana farmers are seeing in those soybean fields?
Weed control just continues to be an issue, particularly with water hen, public enemy number 1. And this year we've also had some issues with mare's tail.
And what are you recommending to soybean growers to get ahead of those culprits?
I think one of the things that we're seeing a shift in for water hen control going forward, and mare's tail, is going out in the fall with a residual product. in the spring, you have much cleaner fields, many fewer weeds to worry about killing, whether you're using tillage or strictly a herbicide approach.
To learn more about Valent products or to find a rep near you, visit Valent.com.
The cars and stars of the ARCA Menard Series return to Salem Speedway for the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200, Saturday, September 20th. Don't miss the young guns of ARCA. Battle it out on the high bank, plus exciting action from the Crown Vic. It all kicks off with qualifying at 5:15. Crown Vic feature at 6 o'clock. And the ARCA Menard Series takes the green at 8 p.m. Save big money on discount tickets at Menard. Get all the details at SalemSpeedway.com. It's the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200, Saturday night, September 20th at Salem Speedway.
Boiler up and hail Purdue.
And Wilhelm has the touchdown.
Led by new head coach Mariota.
Makes the catch at the 30. He's at the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10.
Don't miss a single moment all season long.
With the touchdown catch.
The Boilermakers host USC. Join us live this Saturday. Our coverage begins at 2:30 right here on your home for Boilermakers football. The Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield. Hoosier fans, the 2025 Indiana football season is underway with head coach Kurt Signetti leading your Hoosiers on the victory. The next home game on Saturday, September 20th versus the Illinois Fighting Illini is sold out. So don't miss out on your chance to attend more sellouts at Memorial Stadium by purchasing your tickets for the remaining games this season. Call 812-855-4006 or visit IUHoosiers.com to order your tickets today. Cheer on your Hoosiers to victories this fall and help pack the rock.
And we are back at Jim Ralston Field here at Paul A. Graves Athletic Stadium, where the Springs Valley Blackhawks lead the Salem Lions 18-7 here. We've got about 3 minutes before the second half gets underway. And Nick, what did you think about the first half?
You know, I thought our first quarter went about as bad as they could have in a lot of different ways. I mean, we got them to turn the ball over. It saved us a touchdown, likely. The first quarter wasn't great. I thought we played really well and battled back in the second quarter. I mean, just some notes I wrote down. Springs Valley, they didn't have a third down in that first half or that first quarter. So I mean, they just had first down, second down, and then turned the sticks back over again, back to first. The Lions, they had the ball once and it ended up in a 3rd and 14. That was kind of the pattern that we saw in that kind of the first two Lions drives where they stalled out. It was a 3rd and 14. Their next drive, 3rd and 26. The penalties, we got to limit in the second half. That's one thing that I think is going to be a point of emphasis for the Lions here.
Yeah, absolutely. We know we talked about it a little bit in the first half, but we had an unsportsmanlike that cost us 15 yards. We had a personal foul, late hit out of bounds that cost us 15 yards. Those are just two penalties that you don't need. They're not necessary. They're not going to accidentally happen. Those are just two things that you can't have happen, especially in a game where it was a one-score game for most of the first half there. And unfortunately, we had a couple drives. We ended up at one point in a 2nd and 36 at our own 14-yard line. And that's just something you can't have here in an offensive game where defenses are both kind of playing well, but offensively one team is outplaying the better one, the other one pretty drastically.
And this should be a 14-12 ball game in favor of the Lions instead of what the scoreboard reads right now. 2 plays that were huge. Obviously, we score, we kick it right back off to them. They take it 80 yards down the field. Or they take the kick return 80 yards for a touchdown, and then we march back up the field. There's 3 minutes. We get all the way down deep into their own territory, and what do? We throw the interception with 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the half. Killed what momentum we had at that point in time, and that's what really led to this 18-7 ball game.
Yeah, we've got a couple, got some stats here from the first half real quick. Leading rusher is going to be number 4, Logan Dent. He's got 32 yards on 8 attempts. He's averaging about 4 yards per carry there. The touchdown for the Lions came off of a 20-yard carry there for number 3, Peyton Shockey. He's got 2 attempts for 20 yards and a touchdown. Harris Moore's got 2 attempts for 9 yards, and Braxton Dean's got 1 attempt for 6 yards, and that's going to be the only rushers there for Salem. And the offensively passing, Braxton Dean has 9 completions. He's 9 for 12 right now. He's 27% there, and he's got 103 passing yards, I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, in the first half. Is that correct right there?
Yeah.
So 103 passing yards there for the Lions in the first half. And leading receiver is definitely number 3, Peyton Shockey. He's got 38 yards. Springs Valley-wise here, The leading rusher for them is Noah Alstott. He's got 11 carries for 85 yards there for 153 total yards on the ground for the Valley Blackhawks in the first half. Passing, they are 0 for 2 for 0 yards. So offensively, obviously, it's been very run-heavy for the Blackhawks. Those are unofficial stats. Zach is out, so we've got unofficial Ethan stats, which is Zach's little brother. But for this moment, first I want to thank Ethan for joining us tonight to do the stats. He did them for Zach last week, and I think he enjoyed it. So he's back tonight to do some more for me and Nick. And Nick, I am ready for this second half to take off here.
Yeah, let's see what the Lions can do here. 24 minutes left in this football game. You're only down 2 scores, very much in the ball game, especially considering that we get the ball back here. Will we keep the pass game alive? That's kind of my question headed into this second half. We've got to figure out a way. The run game has been very, very slow for the Lions tonight. We've had a couple of decent runs, but it's really our offensive yards, like you said, 103 of them through the air.
Anakin Kiamo is set for the kick, and it is a low line drive kick that's going to roll, and it's going to stop at the 14-yard line where Logan Dent's going to pick it up and run backwards, and they're going to mark it at the 14-yard line. So I guess he stepped out when he stepped out. If he fielded that out of bounds, that is an illegal kick.
Yeah, he should have jumped his body out of bounds, picked up the football, and it would have been spotted at, the 30? 35?
Yeah, the 35. So let's see here. They're going to mark it at the 15. Not sure how he gained a yard. Not sure how that works. But the Lions are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line, and not great starting field position here for the Lions on this first drive in the second half.
No, I tell you what, the spots really haven't had any implication on the game, but they've really been all over the place tonight.
So Braxton's under center. They got a 3-back set now for the Lions. That is Campbell, Moore, and Dent. It's going to be a toss around the right side to Dent, and he is met very quickly. And that is going to be a 1-yard pickup for Logan Dent down to the 16-yard line. So it is going to bring up a 2nd and 9 now for the Lions, and that is a look we haven't really seen out of the Lions. That's more of a North Harrison-style offense there with a 3-back set.
It is, and I mean, the thing is, the Lions really, their offensive line isn't creating any leverage up the field. If anything, they might be able to keep the Blackhawks from getting in the backfield, but we're really not pushing it up any.
3-back set for the Lions. Again, that's Moore, Kutrell, and Dent in the backfield. There's a snap to Braxton. He's going to roll to his right, and he is chased immediately, and he's just going to throw the ball away. And that was a great, smart play there from Braxton Dean. He threw it at the feet of an eligible receiver to avoid the intentional grounding. So that is going to bring up 3rd and 9 now for the Lions.
Yeah, heads-up play there from Dean in the backfield. Gets rid of it just in time, right at the feet of, who was it, Logan Dent. And the thing is, Dent never even saw the ball, never knew it was coming because he delivered a block.
Luckily for Braxton there, he did have a receiver within range as he was falling backwards. We did see a safety on an intentional grounding for the Lions a couple weeks ago, so good, smart play there from Braxton. Lions have 3rd and 9 now at their own 16. There's a snap to Braxton. He's going to fake the pitch and roll to his right, and he's looking down the field. He doesn't have anywhere to throw. He's just trying to use his athletic ability to get outside, and he is pushed out of bounds, going to be short of the first down. He is pushed out at the 23-yard line, so it's going to be a 7-yard pickup there for Braxton, but that is going to bring up a 4th and 2 now for the Lions, and it looks like they are sending in the punt team.
Yeah, they got a decision to make here. They're down deep in their own territory. This really depends. If you think you can get a stop, you punt it away. If you don't think you have any stops left in you, I think you got to keep the ball in your own hands. I believe they are going to punt, though.
I look here for, no, they have the offense on the field. So the Lions are going to go for it here on 4th and 2 on their own 23-yard line. Braxton's under center, trying to draw the Blackhawks offsides. Yep, and he is going to take a timeout. So that will be a timeout for the Lions, first one of the half. We're going to take a short commercial break because we didn't get too many words from our sponsors in the first half, and we will be back here in just a second.
At Papa John's, get your everyday favorites for just $6.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium, one-topping pizzas, boneless or traditional wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, garlic knots, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $6.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to watch the game, or you're tailgating at one of the local high schools, or to the IU, Purdue, or Colts games, be sure to take plenty of good food. Check out the Pop.
So here we go. We're back here. 10:37 left in the third quarter. Lions 4th down, getting ready to punt it away. Dent sends a high punt deep into the night sky, bounces at around the 44, straight back, actually into Lion territory. It's down at the 49. It'll be Springs Valley ball there at the opposing 49-yard line.
Speaking of Papa John's, I had my mouth full of Papa John's, so I told Nick he was going to have to speak. So the Blackhawks take over 10.5 minutes to go here in the third. Like Nick said, they are on the Lion side of the field at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, punt just bounced the wrong way there, had a little bit of backspin, came back across the 50. It was actually a really, really good punt, though.
Yeah, it was. Dent's new to the punt, but he's doing well. Buchanan in gun, split backs on either side of him. There's a snap to Buchanan. He hands off Burkheiser around the right, cuts back up the middle, fights his way across the 45, and he is just dragging the Lions defense down. And he makes his way all the way down to the 40-yard line. So that is going to be a 9-yard pickup there for Noah. No, not Noah. What is his first name? Augie Burkheiser on first down there. Nope, they're going to give him 8. Talk about the spots being all over the place. So it's going to be an 8-yard pickup there for Augie Burkheiser, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 2. And I feel bad for Ethan because I keep having to change the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's on. The spots have been a little bit all over the place. Obviously, we're a long ways off the field, but still.
2nd and 2 now. Buchanan in gun, split backs on either side of him. There's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Allstott around the right side this time, and he's going to fight his way across 40, across the 35, and down to the, let's see, I'm not even going to say nothing until they mark it. Down to the 34, so that's going to be a 7-yard pickup there for Noah Allstott on first down, and that is going to bring up Blackhawks 1st and 10 now on the Lions' 34-yard line.
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again for the Blackhawks tonight, but why would you change it up? Every play that they've ran, except really for their 2-point plays, have looked really good tonight.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Buchanan in gun, a running back on both sides of him. There's a snap. He's going to hand off around the left to Allstott, who's around the left side, and he is brought down by a great tackle by freshman Mason Quinlan at the 31-yard line. So that is going to be a 4-yard pickup for Allstott there, and I will comfortably say I think that's Allstott's maybe his shortest run of the night.
It's definitely close. I mean, if it's not his shortest, it probably ties his shortest. But one thing that you're not going to see, obviously listen to the radio, Mason Quinlan came downhill hard there, got down low. Great textbook tackle on the ball carrier for a freshman. That's really impressive.
It's great to see that out of a freshman there. Fortunately, we can't play Mason all 4 quarters because we need him for JV, as he is the JV quarterback. Buchanan in gun there. There's a snap handoff around the right side to Burkheiser, who is met at the line, and he's going to be stopped right at the 30-yard line. His helmet got ripped off by somebody. That's one of those ones, we've seen so many flags in the first half, I'm surprised they didn't throw one there considering his helmet wasn't attached anymore.
There's a lot going on in that play. I mean, I also saw Dylan Apple of the Blackhawks and a line with him in the backfield kind of fighting around 10 yards off the play. Really, really bizarre thing to see there.
So it's going to be a no gain for the Blackhawks there in Burkheiser as they come back to line 3rd and 7 now. And it is going to be Buchanan in gun, Elijah Dickey on one side, Noah Allstott on the other.
Valley taking their time.
Yep. They're just running the play clock down, and there's a snap, and he's going to hand it off to Dickey, who cuts it up the middle, and he's down to...
Yeah, there's
some extracurriculars, and my question is that going to be on Bryden for the way he reacted? Or is it on the Blackhawks?
It's the same 2 guys who were wrapped up in something just to play a go. They get after it again, going up against each other. It looked to me like Dylan Apple slung him to the ground there unnecessarily. That's going to cost them 15, I think.
Yeah, so that was going to be, that went from 4th and 2 now to about 4th and 17. And like you said, you know, that cost them 15 yards, and that's one of those they didn't need.
No, I mean, I'm going to say that's just as bad as a turnover. That's just as bad as a quarterback throwing an interception there because it takes them out of a manageable range. I mean, I think they're going to go for it because I don't really know if they have a punter. Watch for the quarterback just to punt it away, though, from his position there. I've seen that a couple times.
Yep, it's going to be a timeout Blackhawks, and they might be either talking about who's going to punt it or they might be trying to draw some up. But we'll stay here just because usually the Springs Valley team has been taking pretty quick timeouts. So that does leave Salem with 2 timeouts and Springs Valley with 2 timeouts. And this game might get pretty chippy here.
It very well could. I mean, you got to look at we'll see what Springs Valley decides to do here. Jason Lowe, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't pull Apple at least for a series or something. Just getting him off the field, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest because he did just cost his team. I mean, instead of a 4th and 2, it's a 4th and 17.
Yeah, so like you said, you went from a manageable situation to a pretty unmanageable 4th down play now that you have to call for Coach Lowe. But with the way the Blackhawks offense has been rolling, I'm not surprised that they just confidently decided to go for it there. But we'll see. It looks like Elijah Dickey's dropping back deep, so he may be lining up to punt the ball.
Yeah, Dickey might be the punter. I mean, Springs Valley, I don't have any statistics on them. I doubt they punted away very much this season.
So back deep to receive for the Lions is number 1, Mason Quinlan. He's going to line up about the 10-yard line. Dickey's just going to look to pin the Lions deep here. And you got to watch the fake here, but Valley is just going to punt it, and it's going to be a Dickey, and it's going to be a very short punt that's going to land at the 25, and it's going to take a Blackhawks bounce down to about the 18-yard line. So can't really say it was a bad punt, but you can't really say it was a good punt.
It wasn't great. He honestly got lucky there with the bounce. The Lions kind of heads-up play to get away from the ball, but at the same time, a fair catch would have been very, very effective there.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Lions here on their own 18-yard line. And one thing that sticks out to me that Springs Valley has done really well is the Lions haven't had a good starting field position all night.
No, they haven't. I mean, except for really they haven't. I mean, I was going to say except for the fumble, but then again they were still pinned back about the 30-yard line, maybe the 20.
Braxton's under center with Moore and Dent in the backfield, back to a 2-back set. There's a snap that's going to be tossed around the left side to Dent, who cuts it, breaks a tackle. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. It's probably going to be a holding on the Lions. That, for the moment, is a 5-yard pickup for Dent, but I believe we're going to go 10 yards backwards from the line of scrimmage here, as I think they got the Lions for holding right at the line, and that's exactly what they did. So it's going to be 1st, and that's half a distance to the goal, I believe, there. Instead, because it's inside the 20. So
yeah, it is. It should be.
So they should get the ball at the 9-yard line. Nope, they took them 10 yards.
Yeah, it took it back to the, 8 there?
8-yard line, yep. So now it's going to be 1st and 20 here for the Lions, back again on their own 8-yard line. And, the holding there, they are moving it to the 9. So it's going to be 1st and 19.
Someone corrected them, I believe.
Yep, so it's going to be 1st and 19 now for the Lions here on their own 9-yard line. Line to gain is the 28. There's a snap that's going to be tossed around the right side to Dent, who cuts up the middle and does make his way forward for a few yards, but not too many. So he is going to be down to the 13, so it's going to be a 4-yard pickup there for Dent on 1st down. Brings up 2nd and 15 now for the Lions.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Lions don't look to the air here, trying to air it out a little bit. It is kind of expected on a 2nd and long, but still wouldn't shock me. I mean, the passing game has looked really good for the Lions tonight. You take away the 1 interception, which cost them probably some points there in the red zone. Other than that, it's looked really good.
Yeah, and you talked about that in the first half, as the Lions need to establish a pass, and they did there, and it looks like they, I expect a pass here. Braxton's in gun. There's a snap. It's going to be a shovel pass, and it's going to be caught by Karis Moore right at the line of scrimmage. And that was a great play call there from Coach Pennington. We haven't seen that all season, and that's going to be about an 11-yard pickup there. And one of the chains is moving. He needs to go back to where he was at. So it's going to be an 11-yard pickup there on the shovel pass to Karis Moore. So that's going to bring up now a 3rd and 5 for the Lions. And great offensive 2 plays there to get from a 1st and 19 to a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, the ball almost actually hit the turf there. Karis Moore made a really athletic play to pick it up without it hitting the ground there. Retains possession, makes his way upfield, and like you said, makes it a very manageable 3rd and 5.
Braxton's in gun. There is a snap. It's going to be a fake handoff. He's going to roll to his right. He's got some pressure, and he's just going to overthrow Waylon Foster at the 30-yard line. So that is going to bring up a 4th and 6. Actually, I think it was 3rd and 6. I'm not real sure.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be 4th down here. The Lions send on what appears to be the punt unit.
Yep.
5:46 left here in the 3rd period. Blackhawks 18, Lions 7 Blackhawks set to get the ball back unless we see something crazy here from Salem.
And I believe you just have to punt it.
I think you do.
You know, you're this deep into Blackhawk territory, or into your own territory, you just got to punt it away, try to get them as far downfield as you can. So there is the snap to Logan, and the punt is up, and it's a low end-over-end kick that's going to land at the 45, take a huge Lion bounce all the way down to the 31-yard line. So that's where it's going to be down. Great field flip punt there from Logan Dent, and that's going to be 1st and 10 Blackhawk ball at their own 31-yard line.
Ethan Parker for the Blackhawks with a dive. I think he might have got his hands on the punt there. He was way in the backfield, actually made some contact there with Dent, but it was extremely incidental, obviously not a penalty. But I've seen a couple of the punts from the Lions almost get blocked tonight.
Yeah, it's been a couple close ones. We had a couple close ones pretty much all year. I believe there was a punt blocked last week. Is that correct, Ethan? Okay, so Lions punt team does get one away there. So the Blackhawks come to the line. Buchanan's in gun. It looks like Allstott's on his right. Bunch formation at the end of the line on the right. And there's a motion. There's a snap handoff to the motion back. That is number 23, Bryson Cave, who never really had a chance to go anywhere. They're going to give him a yard, so that's going to be a 1-yard pickup on 1st down for Bryson Cave. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 9 now for the Blackhawks at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, this is probably the longest 2nd down that we've seen outside of, I don't think there was a penalty. I think this is for sure the longest 2nd down we've seen.
So Buchanan is back in gun with, I believe, Allstott on his right. Notger is the near receiver here. There's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Allstott around the left side, who's going to drag DJ Ward down to the 41-yard line. And that was, again, another questionable spot. Let's see if they give him the 1st down. And they gave him an extra 2 yards.
Well, I think what happened there is the official dropped the ball, just picked it up, and set it right back down where it ended up being, which was, an extra yard.
So that is going to be a 10-yard pickup there for Allstott on 2nd down. Gives the Blackhawks a new set of downs here on their own 42-yard line. Buchanan's back in gun. That's Perkaiser beside him this time. There's a snap handoff to Perkaiser around the right side, who cuts it back up the middle, runs across the 45, where he is brought down by, that is, let's see who that is, Karis Moore on the tackle, down at the 48-yard line. So that's going to be a 6-yard pickup there for Perkaiser on 1st down. Bring the Blackhawks up with a 2nd and 4 now. Perkaiser's a little slow to get up after that, and he kind of trotted his way off to the sideline, so that is something we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 2nd down now and 4, just like it's been about all game, honestly.
Buchanan's in gun. They do a hard count there, and the Lions don't jump. So now they're waiting for the play call off of the sideline. That is Elijah Dickey in the backfield there with Buchanan. Play clock at 5. There's a snap handoff to Dickey around the right side, cuts up the middle, gets across the 1st down line, and fights his way down to the 45-yard line. So that is going to be a 7-yard pickup there for Elijah Dickey on 1st down, and that's going to give the Blackhawks a new set of downs now in Lion territory at the 45-yard line. We have 3:36 to go here in the third. The Blackhawks lead 18-7.
Yeah, just about 3.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Springs Valley now kind of in clock run out mode here.
Buchanan's back in gun, and that looks like a new back in the backfield. I believe that might be Bryson Cave there in the backfield. And there is a snap handoff to Cave around the right side, who cuts it up the middle. He's got some room to run, breaks a couple tackles, spins his way across the 35 down to the 31-yard line. So that is going to be a 14-yard pickup there on 1st down for Bryson Cave, and that is going to give the Blackhawks another 1st down and a new set of downs.
Go ahead, yeah. 1st and 10 now from the 31. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The Lions desperately needing a stop here on this or maybe the next set of downs here if they want to get the ball back and stop the Blackhawks.
So the Blackhawks come back to the line. Buchanan again in gun with Allstott to his right, I believe. There is a snap, and it's going to be Buchanan QB power, and he's going to make his way across the 30, but then get met immediately down to the 29. So that's going to be a 2-yard pickup there for Buchanan on 1st down, bring up 2nd and 8 now at the 29-yard line. A couple score updates for you. You got Corden 27, Clarksville 0, Providence 14, Charlestown 0, Floyd Central 14, Jeff 0, Brownstown 42, North Harrison 7, and B&L and Seymour knotted up at 7. that Charlestown team's playing a good Providence team pretty closely there. So that's good to see for Charlestown.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlestown, they beat Creek earlier in the year. They're a little bit down, though.
Buchanan back in gun. There is a snap to him. It's going to be a counter play, and we're going to see Perkheiser around the left side, and he's got some room to run. He's across the 20, he's across the 10, and he is dragging Lions defenders down to the 4-yard line, and that is going to be a 26-yard pickup there for Perkheiser on second down, and we have not seen that counter play yet tonight. They're actually going to mark him at the 5, so it's going to be a 25-yard pickup. We haven't seen the counter play, but when you run the same play over and over and over, throwing in a counter, you're going to be wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Allstott, the leading rusher tonight for the Blackhawks, but honestly, right behind him is going to be number 42, Augie Perkheiser.
So Buchanan is in gun, and that is going to be Allstott to his right. There's a snap. It's QB power with Buchanan, who finds a hole and trots his way into the end zone. So that is going to be another touchdown for the Blackhawks, and that will extend their lead to 24-7 here over the Lions with 1:23 to go in the third quarter.
And that is a 24 with 4 touchdowns, by the way. It's not 3 touchdowns and a field goal like you would usually see in the college game. Like we said, Springs Valley without a PAT kicker out there, so they do go for 2 every time. I'm actually curious to see what they do here. We talked about it earlier. They're 0 for 3 on 2-point attempts so far in the ball game.
Yeah, we haven't seen them really run a play that they've been comfortable running, it looks like, for the 2-point conversion, but we'll see what they've got drawn up here.
Line up way on the right hash.
Buchanan in gun with Allstott to his left. There's a snap. It's going to be a fake handoff, and Buchanan's going to throw to a wide-open receiver in the end zone, and that receiver was number 86, Mac Lowe. I would assume the son of Coach Lowe. And that was just a great play call there from Coach Lowe to have his son wide open in the end zone.
It was. It's the best 2-point try that we've seen so far from the Blackhawks. Not a defender within probably a 6-yard radius of him. Easy pitch and catch for the 2 points, extending the lead 26-7.
We've got 1:23 to go here in the third quarter, and we'll take this time to thank our sponsors, John Jones Auto Group, McDonald's of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, Washington County Tire, Schneck Hospital.
Yeah, also Papa John's, Vital Farms, Jason Petmeyer Insurance, Rodney Bruff Insurance, and Temple & Temple.
So the kickoff team for the Blackhawks is making their way on the field, and the return team for the Lions is making their way onto the field here. So back deep for the Lions is number 4, Logan Dent, and number 8, Braxton Dean. And I'm wondering if Shockey got a little shaken up, as we have not really seen him. We haven't really called his name here in the second half, and I don't see him here on the kickoff team back deep where he normally is.
No, he is on the sideline, helmet off. I do wonder exactly what happened there, like you said.
I'm glad you see him, because I can't find him. Oh, I see him. There he is. So there is the kickoff from Kiamo, and it's going to land at the 20, bounce to the 15, be fielded by Logan Dent, who cuts it back around the left side, but he was tripped up on the cutback. So the Lions will take over 1st and 10 here on, let's see where they mark this. They could mark this at the 30, they could mark this at the 20, we're not real sure.
Yeah, I think it was right around the 29. We'll see what they decide.
And they're going to mark it at the 30.
Yeah, the 30-yard line, so that works for us.
Yeah, the spots there for the rest tonight, like Nick said a couple times, have not been really even close.
No, I mean, it's just been a yard off here and there, and a couple times a couple yards off, and I mean, it's just been all over the place, to be honest.
Braxton's under center, Karras Moore, the lone back in the backfield. It's Logan Dent in motion around the left. There's a snap handoff, Karras up the middle, who was shot out of a cannon, and he's across the 40, across the 45, dragging the Blackhawks across the 50, and that is going to be a huge run for Karras Moore on 1st down, and that is going to be a 24-yard pickup for Karras there, down to the Blackhawks' 46-yard line. And that's the hardest I think I've seen Karras run all season.
Yeah, you said he was shot out of a cannon, showed a little bit of a burst of speed there, and then he should have been down at the 50, probably even the other 45. He gets an extra probably 9 yards after contact there.
He was flying, and he was running with purpose there. So that's going to be 1st and 10 now, Lions on the Blackhawk 46. And we've got 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And Braxton is back under center with Moore and Dent in the backfield. Ethan Campbell, the far receiver. There's a snap going to be tossed around the right side to Dent. and he is tripped up and falls his way forward for a gain of 2 yards down to the 44-yard line, and I think Dent had a hole to run through. I think he just got tripped up.
I think he did. I think he probably could have got an extra 3 or 4 yards there, got tripped up around the line of scrimmage. Clock is bleeding out here in the third quarter, under 20 seconds. We'll see if the Lions are able to get a play off. I do believe they will.
I think at this point, I think you have to take all the plays you can get.
Yeah, I agree completely. Second down here.
Braxton's under center, more in Dent backfield. There's a snap to Braxton. It's going to be a handoff around the right side to Dent, who cuts it back around the left. Again, gets tripped over his own feet, I believe, that time. So it's going to be another 2-yard pickup for Dent. So that is going to bring up 3rd and 6 now for the Lions here. But that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Nick and I will take a short commercial break, and we will be back in just a second.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance is committed to protecting your dream home so that your family has a place to share laughs, celebrations, and milestones, which is why their new homeowner discount rewards customers who have purchased a new home in the last 3 years with a discount on their homeowner's policy. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Contact Rodney Bruff, agent at Rodney S. Bruff Agency Incorporated at 812-277-1400 today.
Discount and savings amounts and eligibility will vary. Some restrictions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, its operating company, 6,000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Products not available in every state.
Couple other score updates for us here before we get this fourth quarter underway. Paoli leads West Washington 35-7, and Eastern Green leads Pekin Eastern 18-6.
Yeah, County Schools not doing too great tonight. The Lions obviously trail 26-7 here with just 12 minutes left in the ball game. We'll see what they're able to come up with. They do have the ball in opposing territory, coming up on a crucial 3rd down and 6 if they want any chance coming back in this ball game.
So the Lions, like Nick said, have 3rd and 6 here at the Blackhawks 42-yard line, and I would expect a pass here as they've been able to throw the ball pretty well tonight. So let's see what Coach Pennington has drawn up. Braxton is under center, and that's Waylon Foster in motion, the snap, and it's going to be a toss right to Foster, and he's got a hole to run through. Runs over a Blackhawk defender, and that might have been enough to give him a 1st down there. It's all going to depend on where they mark it. And they are going to mark him a yard short, so it's going to be a 5-yard carry there for Waylon Foster, and it's going to be 4th and a short 1 yard here for the Lions.
Probably one of the first ones I've actually agreed with. I thought he was about a yard short. Correct mark there. 4th and 1 on the 37. Probably not even a full yard here for the Lions.
Braxton's under center. I expect QB sneak here. There's a snap, and it is a QB sneak, and Braxton does fight his way down across the 1st down marker, down to the 35-yard line, and that is going to be a 2-yard QB sneak there for Braxton Dean, and that is going to get the Lions a 1st down here. So the Lions will take a new set of downs here, 1st and 10 on the Blackhawks 35-yard line.
Yeah, huge drive for the Lions here. They have to find a way to break through and get another score on the board here, or we will be in big trouble.
I'm assuming, if I had to guess, Peyton Shockey might find himself in the concussion protocol after this game.
Yeah, something's up there with him on the sideline. We're not exactly sure. Either way, the Lions don't have him. He's a key piece of the offense and defense.
Braxton is rolling to his right, throws out to the right to Ethan Campbell, and it is going to be complete there to Campbell on the right side. Let's see where they mark him here. It's going to be a 3-yard catch there to Campbell. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 7 now for the Lions here on their own 32-yard line, or on the Blackhawks 32-yard line.
Yeah, Lions get the forward progress there like they should have. 2nd and 7 here, like you said, just under 10 and a half minutes to go in the ball game. Lions need to get to the ball quick.
Braxton's back under center, 2 wide receivers to the far side there. And there's a snap to Braxton. He tosses around the right side to Karras, who cuts it back up the middle and right into a Blackhawk defender. So they will give him a gain of 1 there. So that is going to be a 3rd and 6 now for the Lions here on the Blackhawks 31-yard line. And the cutback was the right thing to do there. Just unfortunately, Karras didn't really have anywhere to go.
No, he didn't. Brings up a big 3rd and 6. Like I said a couple of times here, this is crucial for the Lions to get in the end zone here if they want to come back.
So Waylon Foster brings the play into the huddle. Braxton breaks the huddle and brings his team to the line. Karras and Dent are both in the backfield here. 3rd and 6 for the Lions. There's a snap. It's going to be a toss around the left side to Dent, and he is chased in the backfield by Elijah Dickey, who trips him up right at the 30-yard line, so it's going to be a 1-yard pickup there for Logan Dent. Great defensive play there from Elijah Dickey. Dent had him beat on the outside, and he just dove and smacked his feet together, and Dent went to the turf.
Unfortunately, he was able to bring him down because I think Dent had the edge there to get upfield and get the first down at least, maybe even marked up to right around the 20, but instead he's marked down at the 30, brings up a huge 4th down and 5.
So it's going to be 4th and 5 now for the Lions, and Waylon Foster brings the play to the huddle, and Braxton breaks the huddle and brings his team to the line. Braxton is going to line up under center. Harris Moore, the lone back in the backfield. See Logan Dent in motion to the left. There's a snap fake toss to Dent, and Braxton's going to roll to his right, and it's going to be tipped by number 23, Bryson Cave, but it is tipped into the hands of number 7, Harris Moore for the Lions, and that is going to be a nice 9-yard pickup there, 8-yard pickup there for the Lions on 4th down, and that is going to give them a new set of downs at the 22-yard line.
We've seen a couple of big plays from Harris Moore tonight. That one might have kept their comeback hopes alive there. He takes it off of the tip, brings it in, and marches upfield for a 9-yard pickup. Now it's a 1st and 10, really close to the red zone at the 22.
So Braxton is going to be under center once again with Karras and Dent, the backs in the backfield. And there is the snap to Braxton. He's going to hand it to Karras, and he is blown up immediately by Noah Allstott in the backfield. And Karras is going to be a little bit slow getting up there after that huge hit from Noah Allstott. He is going to be dropped for a loss of 1, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 now for the Lions.
Yeah, behind the sticks here for this 2nd down. We'll see what the Lions do. I expect them to maybe look to the air here.
And I'll tell you what, Noah Allstott came flying down from the linebacker position, and he got into the gap before Karras did, and Karras felt that hit.
He absolutely did.
Braxton's under center, 2 backs in the backfield. That's Dent and Moore. There's a snap. It's going to be a fake toss to Dent, and Braxton's going to roll it to his right, and he's going to complete the pass to Karras Moore once again at the 20, and Karras is going to make his way forward for a couple extra yards there. Let's see where they mark him here. They're going to give him a very generous spot.
I thought he was down around the 16-yard line. They're going to give him the 15 here. Brings up a 3rd down, and pretty short here, 32.
Yep, 3rd. It's either a long 2 or a 3rd and 3, one of the 2. Either way, it's an 8-yard pass there from Braxton Dean to Karras Moore, and we are really throwing the ball to Karras tonight. Great to see. So Braxton's under center. Karras is the lone back. That's Dent in motion. There's a snap. It's going to be a fumbled snap, and it's going to be recovered by, the ball is flying around in the air. I've never seen, and it's going to be recovered by the Blackhawks. So it's going to be a fumbled snap there by Braxton Dean, and the ball is going to be recovered by the Blackhawks, and that is a drive killer.
It is. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened. I saw the ball flying around. No clue who had control, who threw it up. Either way, Springs Valley comes away with it. With 6:41 left in the ballgame, they're in complete control here.
They lead 26-7 over the Lions, like Nick said, 6:41 to go, and they have now taken over 1st and 10 here on their own 16-yard line. And I look now for just clock control from the Blackhawks. Buchanan's in gun with Allstott to his right. And there is the hard count from the Blackhawks. And now they're set, and there's a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Allstott around the left. He's got a huge hole to run through, and he is met by Ethan Campbell and slung down at the 27, I believe, is where they're going to mark it. That's going to be a gain of 11 for Allstott on 1st down, and that's going to give the Blackhawks a 1st and 10.
Yeah, clock will stop momentarily while they reset the sticks here. It'll probably start here in the next coming seconds.
So the Blackhawks now, I believe, will start bleeding the play clock here to get some time off the game clock. Buchanan gets the play call in, and he does not look like he's in a hurry here.
No, I mean, there's still 10 seconds left on the play clock. Flinging his arms down, he's not looking to get the ball here.
So now they will go with 4 on the play clock. There's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Allstott around the left, who makes his way around, breaks a couple tackles, gets his way across the 30 down to the 35, it looks like, where they're going to mark it. So that is going to be about an 8-yard pickup there for Allstott. And he has just ran the ball hard all night tonight. Ethan, how many yards does he have? Yeah, 125 yards for Noah Allstott already in this game with 5 minutes to go here. He had 141 last week, and he looks to cap over that number tonight. So 2nd and 2 now for the Blackhawks on their own 35. Buchanan's in gun. Bryson Cave now in the backfield. And there is the snap and the handoff to Cave around the left, who cuts it up the middle, breaks the tackle in the backfield, and he's going to fight his way across the 40-yard line down to the 41-yard line. So that is going to be a 6-yard pickup there for Bryson Cave, and that is going to give the Blackhawks another first down.
Yeah, big play there. 1st and 10 now on the 41. 5 minutes left in the ball game. The Lions will be lucky to get the ball back unless, honestly, it would take a Springs Valley score or a stop, which we have seen very few of tonight.
So Buchanan brings back his team back to the line. Cave in the backfield with him again. Play clock is down to 10. I expect them to wait about another 10 seconds, about another 8 seconds before they snap. So there is the line set. There's a snap handoff to Cave around the left, who runs his way across the 45. He is dragging Lions across the 50, and he is going to be stopped at the... I'm not sure where they're going to mark that.
Yeah, right around either the 49s or the 50. They're going to give him the 49, which is good enough for a first down.
Yep, so that is going to be a 10-yard pickup there for Bryson Cave. Maybe.
Yeah, it should be a first. Yep. It is.
10-yard pickup there for Bryson Cave, and that will be another Blackhawks first down. Now we are down to 4 minutes to go here. Blackhawks lead 26-7 over the Lions. And their play clock's already down to 5, and they're not set yet. So Buchanan is in gun. There's a snap. It's going to be handoff to Allstott around the left, and great blitz there from the Lions defense. And that's going to be, let's see here.
Might be a tackle for loss.
Yeah,
here,
might be a tackle for loss here.
Is.
So that is going to be a 1-yard loss there for the Blackhawk offense, and I believe that has to be their first negative play of the night. Got confirmation from Ethan Stats. So we are now 2nd and 11 here. The Blackhawks still in no hurry. They've got 10 on the play clock, 3:20 on the game clock. Buchanan's in gun. And there is snap and handoff around the left side to Allstott. And he fights his way on a hard run down to the 42-yard line. So that's going to be an 8-yard pickup there for Noah Allstott, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and... Nope, they're going to give him an extra one. It's going to be a 9-yard pickup down to the 41, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 now for the Blackhawks. And Nick, I think you were right.
I don't think we're going to get the ball back here. If they don't get it on this 3rd down, you got to think they'll come back right with the same idea on 4th.
Buchanan in gun with Allstott to his left. It's going to be QB power, and Case Callaway had him wrapped up, gets away from him, but is immediately met by Harris Moore. So that is going to be a pretty big loss there for the Blackhawks. That's going to be a 4-yard loss now for the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
3-yard loss for the Blackhawks.
I may stand corrected there. Either way, Springs Valley doesn't seem too worried. Up 26-7 here. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the ball game.
We will be under 2 minutes before the next snap here. It's 4th and 5 for the Blackhawks here on the Lions 44. Just crossed over the 2-minute mark. We got 10 on the play clock. Buchanan is patiently waiting. And Buchanan takes a snap, hands off to the right to Allstott. He is stopped short. It's a 3-yard pickup for Allstott, and he is going to be stopped short of the first down, so that will be a turnover on downs. Great defensive stop there for the Lions, so they will regain possession down 26-7 here with 1:47 to go in the 4th.
Yeah, they got to stop. I mean, something they hadn't did before, but I'm impressed that the Lions have played all 4 quarters of football here. They really haven't given up at any point in time. They've fought hard for the whole 4 quarters.
So the Lions take over 1st and 10 on their own 41-yard line. With Braxton is under center with Dent and Moore in the backfield as the 2 backs. Campbell's the near receiver. Waylon Foster's in motion. There's a snap toss left to Dent, and the Blackhawks almost took to that pitch about 5 yards deep in the backfield, and Dent is going to be dropped for a loss of 2 there. So that is going to bring up 2nd and 12 now. 1:30 to go in the game. And it doesn't look like the Lions offense is in too much of a hurry here either. Waylon Foster brings the play into the huddle. Braxton breaks the huddle, comes through the line. Minute 14 to go now. Braxton's under center with Dent and Moore in the backfield. And there's the snap to Braxton. He's going to toss it left to Dent. Dent's going to hand it back to Waylon Foster on a counter to the right. Waylon's got some room to run, where he is brought down by a couple different Blackhawks there at the 48-yard line. So that is going to be a 9-yard pickup there for Waylon Foster on the counter play. And the Lions are going to take a timeout. Nick and I will also take a timeout, and we will be back after a short commercial break.
Hoosier fans, the 2025 Indiana football season is underway with head coach Kurt Sigletti leading your Hoosiers on to victory. The next home game on Saturday, September 20th versus the Illinois Fighting Illini is sold out. So don't miss out on your chance to attend more sellouts at Memorial Stadium by purchasing your tickets for the remaining games this season. Call 812-855-4006 or visit IUHoosiers.com to order your tickets today. Cheer on your Hoosiers to victories this fall and help pack the rock.
And we are back at Jim Ralston Field, Pauly Graves Athletic Stadium, where the Blackhawks lead the Lions 26-7. We have 47.6 seconds on the game clock here, and the Lions do have the ball. 3rd and 3 here at their own 47-yard line. 3rd and 4. Braxton's under center, Moore in the backfield. Dent's in motion to the right. There's a snap handoff to Moore up the middle, and he is met in the backfield and dropped. And let's see where they mark him at here. They're going to mark him at the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be a 0-yard play. That brings up 4th and 4 now, and there is 30 on the game clock and 32 on the play clock. I do not believe that the Lions will snap the ball again before the end of this one.
I would be surprised if they did. It would just maybe be at the very last seconds.
Waylon brings the play into Braxton, and Braxton does break the huddle, and they've got 12 on the game clock. They're going to get it off. They're going to have to hurry. Braxton's under center, Moore in the backfield. They are going to run a play here, and that's Dent in motion. There's a snap, and there is what?
Yeah, whistles before the play.
I don't know that there was a flag. Let's see here.
Yeah, the far side official, he almost made like a face mask motion. Obviously not a face mask, but...
So they did send one of the Lions off of the field. Not sure what it's for.
Yeah, I really have no clue. Either way, 3.3 seconds left in the ballgame. The Lions going to get their crack at one last play if they choose.
I think the clock is stopped, so I do believe they will have to run a play here. Braxton is in gun. 2 wide receivers here to the near side. There's a snap, and Braxton's going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll to his left and throw it to Logan Dent, who catches it at the 50 and shifts his way across the 45, where he runs out of bounds at the 43-yard line, 42-yard line. So that will be about an 11-yard pitch and catch there from Braxton to Logan Dent. But that does run the clock down to 0, and that does bring us to the end of Week 5 IHSA football action, where the Salem Lions fall to the Springs Valley Blackhawks 26-7. And Nick, there's just not a whole lot to say that we didn't talk about before the game.
There's not. I mean, I thought that the Lions fought to the final last couple of seconds there, obviously running a play at the end. I like to see it, honestly. Might as well use up all 12 minutes of that fourth quarter. I thought that the Lions fought really hard. They just didn't have much to say for this Blackhawks defense.
Yeah,
offense, excuse me.
And, you know, we talked about it before the game. Limiting turnovers, which I think we turned the ball over, twice?
It was the timing is what killed us. I mean, you look at I'm going to keep talking about it because it was huge in this ball game. We should have been at the halftime break. We have a field goal kicker, so it either should have been 18-10 or 18-14. Instead, we go into the locker room 18-7. It's a huge difference there. I mean, a 1-2 score ball game, and the Lions just never really had anything to say for the Blackhawks there in the second half. Springs Valley was in clock preservation mode for most of the time, and the Lions just didn't have any real answer to what Springs Valley was throwing at them defensively in the second half.
I believe, you know, that drives before halftime, Braxton threw an interception, threw it over the head of the receiver, went into the hands of a Blackhawk defender. That was the turnover. We get a drive going down here. All of a sudden, we bobble a snap. Next thing you know, Springs Valley takes it over with 3.5, 4 minutes left, and that was essentially the end of the game for the Lions. Unfortunately for the Lions, again, turnovers killed them, but penalties killed them. Ethan, how many penalties did we have over there? So the Lions had 7 penalties. Do you have the yards there on that? So 7 penalties, 74 yards there. And, I mean, Springs Valley had, it looks like, 2 penalties for probably 30 yards, so they had 2 15-yarders. But the problem for the Lions is when you 7 penalties for 74 yards, I mean, a football field is only 100 yards. And if you got 3/4 of the field covered in penalties, that is not a good look for your team.
No, it's not. I mean, you gotta find a way. The Lions have struggled with it all 5 weeks of the season so far. You gotta find a way to limit the penalties, limit the turnovers. It's 2 things that they take care of. Man, it's a different ball game. I mean, it's the same thing with the turnovers tonight. I know we only had 2. It came at horrible times, just like the penalties did in a lot of cases. I mean, Springs Valley could have very easily tacked on another touchdown. They had a penalty that killed them as well. I mean, it forced what would have been a 4th and 2 into a 4th and 17.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like you talked about, the timing of just the turnovers and the penalties. We ended up at one point in a 2nd and 36 on our own 14-yard line. We talked about that earlier. And you can't get a drive going when you're 2nd and 36.
No, it's almost impossible. I mean, we saw them come back with two of their best plays of the night, honestly, in that situation, and it still was like, what, a 4th and 8, 4th and 9? Yeah. I mean, it was a punt situation for sure, and that's what it was tonight for the Lions offense. It was a lot of punts. Logan Dent, maybe one of the bright spots. He did punt the ball really well tonight. Another bright spot, I would say, for the Lions, Karis Moore played a heck of a game. I mean, he battled till the final whistle, and honestly, he took a couple of big blows out there as well.
Yeah, and, you know, Karis, he's been in the backfield, obviously, every game. He's been kind of one of their main receiver targets, I would say. But running the ball, it's been mostly Logan Dent all year, but it's nice to see Karis get out of the backfield, catch the ball, get into open space. Ethan, how many receiving yards did Karis have tonight? Obviously, unofficial numbers here, but we're trying to get as close as possible. So Karis had 60 yards receiving out of the backfield. I would assume the leading receiver for the Lions, probably by a lot. I think Peyton Shockey was probably number 2 with 38 yards. Yep, so Peyton, we're not quite sure what point of the game he went out, but he did go out at some point. He was standing on the sideline, no shoulder pads, no helmet. So that was obviously a big loss for the Lions, but I can't say that one player makes a 26-7 difference in a game like this.
It doesn't. You're right. I mean, one player is not going to affect the entire outcome of a game. I mean, unless it's like you're in the college ranks and it's a dominant quarterback or something like that. It's high school football. One player isn't going to change the outcome of the football game, especially not in the 26-7 contest. I mean, I will say credit Springs Valley tonight. They executed well. They didn't have to do a ton on offense. They did what they needed to do. They walk out of here with a nice win, improving to 5-0. The Lions are going to fall to 1-4. Like we said, though, before the game, the Lions have what is the easier part of their schedule coming up here.
So, yeah, and, you know, next week we're home again against Corden. It is homecoming night for the Lions. Obviously, you don't ever lose on homecoming. We then are home again against Pekin the week after. The week after that, we're on the road, I believe, at Charlestown. And then after that, we've got the 3rd game of the county matchup for us where we are on the road over out west to West Washington. Speaking of West Washington, I don't have a final score, but last time I knew it was 35-6, I believe, 35-7, something like that. A couple other score updates. I've got Brownstown in the 3rd quarter. Last update they were up over North Harrison 56-14. Again, Brownstown rolls over another conference opponent. And we've got, last score update was Eastern Green was up over Pekin 18-8. Was it 8 or was it 6 that I said earlier?
I thought it was 18.
18-6, yep. So the 56-14 looks like the finals. The 35-7 was the final at West Washington, I believe. And I also believe that the 56-14 might have been the final at Brownstown. It looks like Scottsburg over Silver Creek 29-0. Corden over Clarksville 44-8. And let's see here. I believe that's all the score updates we've got for the moment. But other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about tonight. Eastern Green actually 12-6 over Eastern. They did call a touchdown back in that one, so it wasn't 18-6. But for the most part, all three county schools do fall tonight, and we have county play in a couple weeks. But first, we've got the Panthers at Corden, and I will say Corden looks like they're playing well right now. They are down, like you said, a little bit, but they have been competing with a lot of the teams they've been playing. Last score update I had for Corden was 44-8 over Clarksville. We also just got a score update of Floyd 20-6 over Jeff. So I believe that Floyd down there, that's a pretty good program.
It is. I mean, Floyd Central has been dominant for a number of years. They just keep finding talent all over the place. It's a big school, obviously. It's a huge school down there at Floyd Central, but, I mean, they have a good program going, like you just said.
And Providence, I believe, beats Charlestown 28-18. And as a Lion that is getting ready to go play that Charlestown team, competing with the previous 1A state champions like that, and then, obviously, I was told that the Providence team was better this year than they were last year. But competing a team of that caliber, again, 28-18, that Charlestown team looks pretty good, but Providence does get the win over them. Let's see, is Coach Pennington coming to us, or is he going upstairs? He's coming to us. Nick, can you mind giving him your headset real quick? Sure. Coach Pennington, I'll let you in here and have some room. All right. So, Coach, thanks for joining us again. Rough game tonight for you guys, but there was some good and some bad. What do you have to tell the guys this week to clean up some of the extracurricular penalties?
Well, there are three things that we stress before every football game that's going to determine the winner. The number one is you have to control and you have to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides. We didn't do that tonight. Number two is penalties and turnovers. We didn't check that box. And number three, you got to play more physical than your opponent, and we didn't check that box.
The Springs Valley Blackhawks came out tonight, and it looks like their main mindset was hand the ball to Noah Allstott, and we're going to run the same play over and over and over. And that just kind of seems like what they came in here to the game to do tonight.
They imposed their will upon us. We made some adjustments, but they are a bigger, stronger team than we are, and they exerted their will on us tonight, and we didn't have really an answer for them. I was proud of our effort. I don't think we ever gave up. We were in good position going in at halftime. We were getting the ball back to start the second half, and then Peyton Shockey gets sick. He set out the second half. That affects our offense.
Okay, so we were wondering what happened to Peyton. We weren't sure if maybe a concussion or something like that.
No, he had a little stomach bug, I guess, and he was throwing up, and we decided not to play him the second half. He wasn't 100%, and that affects a lot of our offense because, Peyton's one of the weapons that we have, and when he goes out, we become a little bit easier to defend because we only have one or two other weapons after that. So, I think he's going to be okay. He passed the concussion protocol, so he doesn't have a concussion. We look for him to be back.
Offensively and defensively, one person that stuck out to me tonight for you guys was Karis Moore. Obviously, he led the team in receiving yards with about 60 yards. And defensively, it seemed like every time we called a Lion defender for a tackle, it was Karis Moore. And that's just great to see from a kid. Was there some kind of like a wake-up moment for Karis this week, as it looked like he got a little bit more, he looked like he was playing a little more fire tonight?
Well, I mean, Karis is one of our seniors. He's one of our captains. He's been a 2-year starter for us, and he's an excellent football player. He's an even better person. He wants to win. He's competitive. He's never satisfied with being close or, playing well. He wants to win. He would more than likely be happy to give up his receiving yards and his tackles if we would have won the football game tonight. That's the kind of leader that he is. That's the kind of all of our leaders are on our football team. And we got to go back to work on Monday. We got to get a good scout on Corden. That's a team that we can compete with, a team we feel like we can beat here at home. That's going to be homecoming, so hopefully we'll have a big crowd here. We can pack the stands, and we can come away with a victory, a conference victory over an opponent that we probably should have beat last year that kind of slipped away from us.
I got one more question, and it's about Corden. A lot of people expected Corden to be pretty down this year. They've came out, they've competed with teams like Scottsburg. They beat Clarksville pretty single-handedly tonight. What do you think you have to get into the guys' heads before next week that the Corden team is a beatable team, but they're not going to be as bad as what they think they are?
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts up front. I mean, we have to control the line of scrimmage. We have to get better up front. We have to be able to do a better job of blocking so our running game can get on track, and we have to be able to at least have a stalemate on the defensive side of the football so that
we can get our linebackers flowing to make some tackles. I mean, they were running off 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 yards a pop tonight, and but once again, you have to give Springs Valley credit. They're a very good football team. They're a senior-dominated team. They haven't been beaten. They probably will go undefeated in the regular season, I'm going to assume, and I'm assuming they'll make a pretty deep run in the 1A sectional, possibly be a sectional champ. They're ranked number 5 in single A, and it's pretty obvious they have a really nice football team. They're well coached. They're very disciplined, and they do what they do very well, and they don't alter their game plan.
No, but it didn't look like it. It looked like they were going to stick with the run all night, and that's what they did. But Coach Bennington, I appreciate it. I think that's all I've got for you. So, unfortunately, this one slipped away, but let's go get them next week.
Okay, thanks, guys.
So, for anybody at home tonight, the Lions do fall 27-6 here against the Springs Valley Blackhawks. Like Coach Bennington said, we are back home again next week against Corden for homecoming night, where we will host the Panthers. But, Nick, do you have any more points you want to go over tonight, or... Ethan, let's go ahead and go over some final stats. Will you pass me that computer? We got unofficial Ethan stats here. So, main guy on the ground for us tonight was number 4, Logan Denny. He had 14 carries for 39 yards there. And like we mentioned, Karis Moore, another kid that was running real hard tonight, he had 6 carries for 33 yards with a 5.5 average per carry. Passing the ball, we threw the ball a lot more than I think we kind of expected to. Braxton was 14 for 19 for 145 passing yards tonight. And like I talked about with Coach Bennington, the main man receiving the ball was number 7, Karis Moore. He had 5 catches for 60 yards tonight. We also had Peyton Shockey, 4 catches for 38 yards. And we did have Caden Romero, 2 catches for 29 yards there. And that is pretty much it for the Salem stats. These Springs Valley-wise, it was a game of the run for them, with Noah Allstock getting 19 carries for 137 yards there. Second guy behind him was Augie Perkaiser, 8 carries for 69 yards. Offensively passing the ball, they went 0 for 2. Blake Buchanan did not complete a pass, and receiving, the only man targeted was number 8, Landon Weeks, and he also went 0 catches on 2 targets. So that was pretty much the name of the game, with Springs Valley on the ground. Penalty-wise, kind of killed us tonight. We had, like we talked about earlier, 7 penalties for 74 yards. Springs Valley had 2 penalties for 30 yards there. And unfortunately, the Lions just couldn't get it done tonight, Nick.
No, they couldn't. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle. They fought to the final whistle there. I mean, like you heard Coach Bennington say, proud of the effort that they got out of the boys tonight. Looking to bounce back next week against Corden, a very, very winnable game. I know Corden's better, but it is winnable, especially here at home on homecoming. Big game for the Lions. They've actually shown, I think, one of the positives tonight, the last thing I'll say, we showed the ability to pass the ball. Maybe you use that a little bit next week.
Yep, and before we get off here, we want to thank our sponsors, John Jones Auto Group, McDonald's of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, Washington County Tire, Schneck Hospital.
Yeah, and finally here, Papa John's, Vital Farms, Jason Petmeyer Insurance, Rodney Ruff Insurance, and Temple & Temple.
And the last person I want to thank is Nick for joining me in the booth tonight. Zach was out of commission tonight with some prior obligations, but I really do appreciate Nick joining me tonight. And it looks like next week Zach will be back with us. We're going to try to keep Ethan's stats available here for us. But I think that's it for me. Nick, do you have anything else?
No, I mean, thank you for asking me to do this, and I had a ton of fun, even in a loss.
Thanks for listening. God bless, and we will see you next week.